Can they hear me now? Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Oh, what's up? Oh, shit. We're looking nice. Okay, all right. No worries, no worries. Let's just get everything set up first, you know. A little bit going. Let's get this party started, man. Damn. I really need to shave, dog. My mirror's full. Yikes. Yeah. Don't set it up. Yeah. Because we're gonna. A sec. Oh man, all right. Hell yeah. Okay, all right. All right, put us on, put us live. Get this shit out of here. Perfect. Yeah. Come on, Ed. Don't worry, we will. We'll get Dazaf in here. Dazaf, jeez. We're working on him, Simo. We're working on him.
Yeah, no worries. You hear me okay?
No, I'm just messing with you, Doug.
You can hear me okay?
Yeah. Volume is good. Yeah, if we can fit. Can you fit you? Let's do it. Let's make it happen. So for the first time in League of Legends. Jesus, League of Legends. All right. Oh, Simo, I'm so excited. You have no idea.
You're getting non-Super Saiyan Simo. My hair is not like.
Oh,
Super
you know
Saiyan.
what? I'm glad you mentioned Super Saiyan because we have a picture for you.
Oh, perfect! I can't wait.
Oh man. Oh, all right. I'm excited, Simo. Ooh. All right, get us on. Put us live. All right.
God, I have like this chain smoker's cough because I did kickboxing today, so my throat's like coughing all the junk up.
Yeah, that's like a healthy. That sounds like the healthiest chain smoker I know of.
It should make for some good laughs, though.
Yeah.
I'll probably pass out during the stream from coffee.
Oh, jeez. Don't worry. We hopefully we'll be oh man, I'm so excited, Steve. You have no idea.
Did you see the story about that Twitch streamer who like died on stream and everyone just pressed F instead of like calling 911? I'm just like, if that isn't emblematic of our society right now, like, yeah.
Hey, I know we're behind the scenes, fellas, but please press F in the chat for this guy.
Right.
I love seeing those memes. Rest in peace, that guy. But I love seeing those memes where it's like two arms like grasping hold of each other, and one of them is like F, and one of them is like rip, and then in the middle it's like contributing anything meaningful to the conversation. And I'm just like, geez, true.
Sounds about right.
Oh man, all right, okay, all right. Ooh, we're getting excited. I'm getting excited, rather. I'm getting excited. No, don't worry. Setup is good. Setup is solid. I don't know if you've tuned into any of our other episodes, Simo, but
I saw part of the lithium one.
Oh, okay. Well, that was arguably our worst episode in the season.
Oh, okay.
I solo that one. So if you enjoyed that one, you'll enjoy this one.
Okay.
For sure. All right, let's get it. All right.
Woo!
Are we up? We're live? We're live. All right. Hello, everybody. What's going on? It's your boy. You already know who it is. Welcome to Loli TV, for all your inappropriate talk show needs. As far as Yu-Gi-Oh is concerned. Of course, I'm here with my co-host, Noah Beagleman.
Yep.
And
back here this time. We had a little hiccup on Friday. Had some schoolwork I had to get done, but
had to fly solo.
Sunday.
Left me behind.
Fly solo. Oh.
Yeah, but it was arguably the most turbulent flight Loli TV has ever had to do. Who am I without my crew? Speaking of crew, again, a man who needs no introduction, our engineer AJ Thaxton. He's back in here. We got him back, so the stream is looking good again. The camera is there's Simo, or Simo is here twice. Yeah, I'm here twice too. But don't worry,
double the Simo, double the base Loli.
Oh, you're there twice. I don't know why that's happening. I'll have to figure that out.
All good. That's quadruple.
I'm gonna switch back to that. Wow, there's like more than one of you guys. That wasn't planned.
This is base Loli TV. Anything can happen.
You never know.
There might be 4 base Lolis next time.
So before I introduce our special guest, who, again, super grateful to have him on. Quick shout out to our endorsers over at Card Overflow and MetaMats. Stay tuned. By the end of the segment, we will tell you how to get your cards cheap, especially foreign cards. I know y'all like that. I don't know why, but you do, and you know why. So
I don't know why.
Yeah. Thank God. Simo, neither of us know why. None of us know why.
We're not good. We're not good. That's
I guess we don't have the pro player swag, but you can have it. Like all you guys watching, y'all can have it.
But David and MetaMats, that man makes an amazing product.
Absolutely so. In fact, I can vouch for it. If you ever want a mat, we don't have a discount code for him yet, but his mats are good. Support your local artist, So anyway, again, super stoked. A man who truly needs no introduction, but I'm going to introduce him anyway. He is Yu-Gi-Oh! With enthusiasm, the poster boy of positivity in the community, I would say. We got Alex C. No! I've been waiting forever to do that. Excuse me.
I was really hoping you were going to do that justice, and I'm not disappointed. So
yeah. No, I hope I did.
You did.
Simo, thank you so much for coming on with us, man.
Thank you for having me. It's going to be fun.
Of course. So first, I want to start off the segment real strong. We saw you at the Vegas regionals, right?
Yes.
But we've also been seeing you kind of in the limelight recently from a competitive perspective. And Noah can talk with you a little bit more about that because I'm a little out of touch and I'm a little old. As you can see, the beard's getting a little weird. But we saw you at Nationals playing, and as your video would title it, the best deck I've ever played, which is an incredible. It wasn't clickbait. I mean, I'm sure you could agree it was the.
From my perspective, it was the best deck I've ever played.
So why don't you, if you want to just give us a little bit of insight kind of on maybe a little bit on your YouTube and your media's career, sort of its direction, but also as a player too. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the direction you're going in now?
Yeah. So I started in like October 2014, I think. I was still in college, so that sounds about right. And it was just like a hobby. It wasn't really like anything serious like it is now. And the whole reason I started the channel in the first place is because I'd watch. I always love telling this story. I'd watch people like M. Cole, Robbie. And,
yeah.
Robbie has so much good information, but bless his heart, I can't stand like watching him because like the delivery of his information like puts me to sleep. But he has really good information, right?
Yeah.
So, and I was thinking to myself, because I was just re-entering the game as well. I took a hiatus because of Teledad, which a lot of people took a hiatus because of Teledad.
So we heard.
I was getting back into the game, refamiliarizing myself, and I'm like, why can't there be someone that like delivers the information, but like is exciting, like in the delivery, or like can actually, I guess coherently deliver it, and it's not like all over the place, going off tangent and all that. And I'm like, well, I mean, I guess I could do it. So I just started doing it. And 4 years later, I mean, here we are. But what's been interesting is that like the progression of the channel kind of tied to like me playing competitively. So the reason I wanted to start the channel was because since I've played since the beginning, I wasn't like, that good, but like I had a very good knowledge of the game because I've played for so long. So I know more than like the average player. And so I kind of just felt, if I can just make a channel and someone comes and watches a video and they have something that they can take away from that or they can learn, that's like my goal. I just kind of want to bring everyone up with me, even though like I'm not that good, but like it's kind of like this collective, if we can all get better together, like that's kind of just beneficial for the community. Right. And that's kind of like where I took it. So in doing that, I kind of like forced myself to become like a lot better at the game because I wanted to get better at it and I wanted to understand it better, because if I understand it better, then I can teach it better because that's one of my strengths, and then deliver that information to my audience. And so I think I guess one of my highlights, even though I don't really have any, was almost topping YCS Seattle during Zodiac format. The weekend Raging Tempest came out. And that was when I lost to Billy Brake in the feature match, and I completely punted that because I was like, I never get nervous. I was fucking terrified, dude.
Yeah, you are Yu-Gi-Oh! With enthusiasm. Like, how did you get nervous?
If I
remember telling my friend, it wasn't like the fact that I was like playing Billy, or it wasn't the fact that I was playing a feature match. It was the fact that it was like everything all at once. It was kind of just like sensory overload. Right. And like I really never been in that environment before, so I just punted it. But that was kind of like where people were like, "Oh shit! Like Simo might actually top. Like this is really cool." And then Nats this year, I say is arguably my best performance because I almost made day 2. I lost because of Licorice Pass going with 3 seconds left in time.
Right.
But I feel like that was my best performance, not because of that, but because of the fact that that Nats, I guess there's so many, better players in terms of like the skill level, because you actually have to get your invite, things like that, even though it's not too difficult.
But more anyway.
Right, yeah, but overall, I'd say the skill gap's a little bit higher, and on top of that, it's like an endurance, man. Like I had to get the LCQ because I only went to YCS last year, so I LCQ warriored, made the finals, lost, then made the finals again and won. So I basically played like a 17-round Nats, even though I didn't make day 2.
This was this past Nationals, right?
Right, the 2018 Nationals.
Okay.
So then I was 6-1 after round 7, and then lost round 8 and 9. Like. Subsequently. So, but like to me, like that's an accomplishment. And even though it's not like, in most like good players' eyes, it doesn't really matter. A lot of people's eyes, it doesn't matter. But to me, I felt like I actually achieved something. And that's kind of like, for me, a hallmark of that. I'm actually getting better at this game. And so that's, kind of where we are now.
I think to some degree, achievement is very subjective. Now, my co-host, Noah, he can definitely tell you all about that. Noah's only been playing, a little background to him. I will do him the justice of talking this man up. And then, because I don't think he does himself very much justice, unfortunately, Noah. But Noah is actually a prodigy at Yu-Gi-Oh! He's only been playing for maybe a couple months, and he invented the Pendulum FTK deck. I mean, within his first 3 months of playing. So I think so to a lot of like the big name players who when I first brought the show up, when I was first making the show, they were like, okay, well, who is this? Like, okay, we know Base Loli, but who's Noah Bagelman? You know what I mean? And so he, while maybe he doesn't have the event tops or anything, I think his presence in the game, similar to yours, although I think from a different avenue where he made this incredible deck that everybody picked up, but you make these videos that everybody seems to watch, including myself, including my girlfriend. You know, like how did I teach her how to play Yu-Gi-Oh? Well, like fucking, we got on the fucking how to play Yu-Gi-Oh for beginner in 10 minutes. What was it? 8 minutes? 10 minutes?
Right.
So
yeah,
it was
3 minutes actually.
3 minutes. It was.
I need to remake that video, but yeah, it's old.
It was good.
It's pretty good for what it is. Yeah.
It's very comprehensive for 3 minutes. I encourage everybody to check it out. In fact, new and old. Some people really just don't know how to play the game. So like, you actually, it's a worthwhile check for sure. Anyway, I'm gonna pass it over to Noah real quick. I'm sure he has a couple of nice questions for you all set up, especially you.
Well, and one thing interesting before we pass to Noah, I do want to say, like, one of my strengths that I feel is that my technical play may not be the best at this game, but I feel my analytical skills are. So when like you developed the penned FDK, I remember saying the next day on my meta analysis, like, this is going to be a thing. Yeah. And I remember people were giving me shit in the comments. They're like, no, it's not. And then, of course, the next event, like, everyone's playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I have a very good analytical foresight when it comes to stuff like that, even though I may not be, like, the best technical player. But anyway, Noah, go on. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Noah. Thank you for that, by the way. Thank you for making that format. It was just ridiculous.
That's kind of a good lead into what I was going to ask you. So I was going to ask you, how do you analyze the meta when you go into a specific tournament? Because you kind of have a unique perspective in that you're kind of creating content, telling people what's the new stuff from the new set. So you have an influence maybe on what people would play. I mean, obviously not a huge influence on all the big names.
Sure.
But kind of the general idea of rounds 1 through 5, you'll have an idea of what people are playing because you're studying the meta and stuff. So how does that influence you choosing a deck to play? Because you played like Spirals for some events when Goki was probably the more consistent deck. You played, I'm not trying to like chirp you here. I'm just
No, I know.
Yeah. And then Trickstar Sky Strikers, you played that kind of like after its prime.
Right.
And still a very good deck. But anyways, so what's kind of your mindset going into an event when you choose your deck?
Yeah. So like when I comprise the meta analysis, most of it's based off of like past event results and things like that. I mean, that's pretty much how a lot of people look at it. I kind of just, make the video so people can be like, oh, these are the best decks, So, I mean, that's kind of like my role. But so, yeah, you're right, though. I do sometimes choose to play like what's not considered the best deck. And that's sometimes because I feel that I would rather play a deck that may not be the best deck, but I feel more comfortable playing, or it might be a little bit more linear. So for instance, like combo decks like Goki and stuff, I feel that unless I put a ton of work in to play those decks, I want to play them perfectly. Otherwise, I feel like I'm going to misplay, and that's going to force me to lose, rather than the fact that I play a worse deck objectively. Even though I play it better, I'm going to get more wins because I piloted the deck better, even though it's objectively worse. So like with Trickstar Sky Striker Mech Knight for Nats, Trickstar Sky Striker was still a thing, and the Mech Knights had the edge in the mirror match. I really like the aggressive build that Peter Mitro, I think, in Australia or New Zealand. I loved all the theory behind his build, and I'm like, yes, this is like what I wanted to play. And so obviously Goki was the better deck, but I didn't have the time to dedicate to learn all the combos and the intricacies. And I felt like that would have just forced me to lose more games, even though, like, if you just established an extra link, like, you probably won. But I'd rather just, I guess, play what's more comfortable for me. And I feel like that's something as a player you really have to kind of weigh back and forth as to, like, if you think you can just power through enough through those misplays, or if you want to play a worse deck, well, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. You don't lose to yourself as much. You won't misplay your own cards. It's based on your opponent.
Right.
They draw well, then, them's the breaks.
Yeah.
So do you think that this kind of, this theory about like playing the deck that you're best at, does that stem from the fact that you spend a lot of time making YouTube content and don't really have enough time to test? I think DZ's talked about that in some videos before.
That's the funny thing. Like, people who I guess look up to content creators like me or DZ for like any of the other, big or small names, doesn't matter. They think like we just play Yu-Gi-Oh 80 hours a day and like have no life. When on the contrary, we're making content like all the time, but the time we actually have dedicated to play is very minimal. Like, I only go to my locals like once a week, if that. And so that's the time I really only have to play, unless I put time in my schedule to say like for Nats, I'll do that. I'll be like, hey, like let's just like get together, let's play, let's practice, because that's a bigger event. I want to do well. So like for Nats, and I have more time around that time too, because usually content's kind of slows down during the summer just because not as much is happening aside from Nats. So I have more time to dedicate to actually playing. And that's kind of just like the summer in general. You know, school's out. It kind of works out that way.
Mm-hmm. So kind of just more on your philosophy on playing for these events. You find cards. You said that you can play well, right? So do you ever like hit up your friends or maybe other content creators? I don't really know who's in your testing circle personally, but do you ever just sit down, pull out like the Yugipedia app or go on like Dueling Book or something like that?
I know it's trying to relate to you a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if this is just something I do, but it's just like literally sit down and have a session where you just like research cards. Is that like part of your testing process, or do you kind of just go off of past event results like you were talking about before?
Sometimes I think it kind of just depends on the format, but also I have the advantage because I've played for so long that I actually know about a lot of these older cards that may be rather obscure, but then like out of nowhere just like start becoming relevant. And so there's like very few people that have that same level of like experience. So then it's like you can kind of just say randomly, like when you're testing, like, what if we play this? And then like everyone looks at you like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then like you show them and they're like, oh shit, like that seems really good, you know? And then it's like, and then you test it and maybe it doesn't work, but it's like, again, like it's very similar to just going through and scrolling to find these types of cards or going on Dueling Book to search like a specific term for a type of interaction. But yeah, so I mean, it's kind of a mix, but I mean, more so we kind of just figure out what decks that we want to play. And then we just, you know, do our best to, I wouldn't say we try to find like some spicy tech and like maybe like define a format with it, you know. But I remember one time, when was it? It was back in the UDS when it was in Vegas. And I remember this is when, what was it? It was Fusion Sub Combo Zoo was a thing. And I remember I'm like, oh, you know, Droll and Lockbird actually might be a really good idea because it stops them from going +6 on the first turn. And then I can set up and then they can't do anything. So I tried that. And then I ended up going like 0-3 in the UDS. So,
oh no!
So like, I mean, the theory was all right. And then like Droll went up because like they announced Trickstar like the next week. So then Droll like shot up in price. So I thought that was funny. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's very experimental.
Yeah, you definitely. It's definitely very like Yu-Gi-Oh as a game is definitely very hit or miss. Where your theory could be perfect. Yeah. But if you don't, I mean, like, because you can't play realistically, like Sky Striker as an example, you can't play 10 copies of Engage. You know, you can only play 3, and there are only so many cards that are as good as Engage. So eventually, I mean, or at one point, you're just going to end up drawing the 5 worst cards in your deck. And it doesn't matter how good your theory is unless you just cheat. You realistically, yeah, unless you just like do some crazy hat tricks. Yeah, there's definitely no way to consistently, at least. I mean, people who top multiple events, I mean, obviously, they get a little lucky. Like, if they don't cheat, they get a little lucky. And I mean, that happens. You know, it's not like a statistical outlier to get a little lucky. But yeah, you know, if your theory like is totally on point and your practicality, your technical play is totally on point, you could still just flop. You can still just flop. Yeah. So I think Droll and Lock, to go back to your example, was, I mean, yeah, like Zodiac would do this huge combo. It was like in my head the birth of Adderall decks, where they would just start doing these combos, and I was like, dude, like these dudes are really sitting out here. And it's funny, you know, you didn't play Goki for nationals, right? I kind of agree with you, right? Like Noah will not. No, this is why Noah is my co-host. We have this disagreement where Noah's like, I want to go in, I want to play the best deck at any cost, right? Well, what if that cost is Yu-Gi-Oh 80 hours a week, like Goki, right? Yeah. And I'm not in high school, and neither are you, right? Like, we're not in school anymore, you know, like there's not a lot of time to do that, you know? Or at least like even with school, you know, like regardless, not all of your time can go to Yu-Gi-Oh unless that is your thing, right?
Right.
So in my head, like Goki and decks like that are like little kid decks. Like, there's no way we can play them, but they're like kids, you know, or like younger audiences can sit down, can practice the combo for 30 hours a week in their room, lights turned off, mom's room. Not to speaking for a friend, not talking about myself when I was younger or anything. For sure.
Alex, can we talk about how maintaining the balance between Yu-Gi-Oh and like a full-time job?
Yeah. Well, okay. So
What your opinion is on that?
Yeah. So we had absolutely. So we had Lithium on yesterday, and he was talking about how I think he's looking for work right now, but he has 2 degrees.
Yeah.
And they're in sport. I don't know if you were there on that segment, but it's in
No,
sport.
but I've talked to him behind the scenes. I know.
Oh,
I know.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's sports and law, and it's just like, okay, well, does he teach like sports law, or is he like, like what is he doing? Like, so but he is busy around the clock, and then he says like, yeah, then I come home at 11 at night, and it's just I'm so tired, but I still have to make video. And then he's like, but then I have to play. It's just, I hope my accent is good. I've really been working on it.
Do you want to hear my Lithium accent?
Please, let's hear it. I'd love to hear it.
Let me get close to the mic. Hold on.
Yes. Just everything.
Yo, what is up, guys? Time for another Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Duel. Next video, cross-banless cup. We have the infamous Teledad, delicious, going up against Synchro Cat.
We got Lithium back. Yeah. We got Lithium back. But AJ, to answer fully, it's you're really it's all about priorities. It's all about how old you are. Like if you're living on your own and you got bills to pay, I mean, if you're out here playing Yu-Gi-Oh, right? I'm gonna judge you. I'm gonna be like, come on, dude, like the hell is going on at home? But if you don't have all that to do and then you spend a lot of time in Yu-Gi-Oh, well then it's like, okay, well, whatever, like find a good balance, right? But but back to like, yeah, so if I were you, I would have played the Mech Knight Trickstar Phantom Skyblaster deck too, because man,
Right.
I'm realistically not going to sit there and like also like if I took that deck to an event, like especially with the new time rule, there's no way I'd be able to play optimally and as fast and better than the people who have been practicing. So yeah, it's
To
just
be fair though, Noah, that deck did get top 4. I'm just saying. So it did get
there you go.
I wasn't really talking about I wasn't really talking about playing the Sky Striker Trickstar deck at that event. I was talking about like at this past regional in Vegas.
Oh, the past region.
Like,
Okay,
now
yeah.
it's
So
like,
plain and simple,
Yeah.
I haven't had time to practice anything else. So I'm just like, well, I took this deck to Nats, so I just modified it. And that deck got way worse with drones getting limited, Goat going to 2, Terraforming going to 2. So I'm like, you know what? So my friends were in town from Cali for the regional. I'm just going to play it. You know what? If I do well, good. If not, it's fine. And so, I mean, I got my invite. So, I mean, obviously it wasn't like the worst. I think some guy got like 4th with it too, or like 3rd. I don't know. It was in the top 8. Some guy, I think it was playing like a 60 card build though, which was like really crazy.
60 card Trickstar Sky Striker. Let's go.
Yeah.
No one takes
I
that.
don't know. One thing to add on to what you're saying about the work-life Yu-Gi-Oh balance, because before I started doing YouTube full-time, I had to go through the same thing because I used to work for a solar company.
Okay.
And I was managing accounts. So like my life was, I'd wake up at like 7 or 8. I'd have to record, edit, upload, do all the video stuff before I started work at noon. And so I only had what is that, like three hours maybe? And then that's not counting the fact I'd eat lunch. So you have like 3 hours to do all the video stuff, and then I'd have to work, and then I'd come home and basically just like be so wiped from doing the video and working that I'd just like pass out. So then, and that was just, I just repeat the cycle, And so it's with YouTube, it's like, I guess like it kind of applies with anything. It's like, if you want it enough, like, I guess I wanted doing YouTube enough that like, I didn't care about the grind. That like, I got like this adrenaline rush from it. Like getting a video up at like the last second before I had to go to work. That is like the best feeling ever. Cause it's like, yes, we fucking did it. And then, and it's fine. So but you're right. It is about your priorities and what's I guess healthy for you. Like if it got to the point where it was really affecting my health, I probably wouldn't have kept that up. But.
Like people are literally going to these events and they're just like, I'm like, I'll go to these events, in my spare time. I missed my flight to Columbus. Unfortunate, unlucky. And that's the first time that's ever happened. I posted all over on Facebook. I was like, I can't believe I missed my flight. And I thought everyone would be like, oh, it's okay, Loli. Everyone was like, ha, you missed your flight. I'm like, oh shit. So then, but even going before that, as I slowly started dipping out of Yu-Gi-Oh a little bit, I'd go to these events and I'd be like, I'd see these guys, like I'm not gonna name names here. We're a fully, we make sure nobody gets in trouble. on the show, you know, legally, everyone can still run for president, myself included. But I just see these guys and they're like, Loli, what's up? Like, I'm like, was that coke on your hands? Like, gee, these dudes are really, they're just like slamming. They're just like, hey, you got breakfast? Oh, see, I gave away the code
That's
word.
crazy.
You got breakfast? Yeah, I got it. Like twitching out. I'm like, oh my god! I'll be like playing with my opponent. It's like the new thing, you know. They used to have calculator cases, and then they had TI-80.
Yu-Gi-Oh players go hard, man.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
It's ridiculous. They have all those accessories. Now the new accessory is a tab of Adderall. That's the new. It's just like pull it out of your plastic bag. I'm a pro. Sorry, bro.
I'm a pro. I got foreign cards. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. With the foreign cards, what do they do? I don't know. Like, but I'm just like, oh god. So you're right. When it starts affecting with your health, I definitely think it's time to step back. That's why I've never really delved into that, especially in Yu-Gi-Oh, because I can't compromise my health. You know, there are other priorities. So precisely.
Sure, exactly. Like Yu-Gi-Oh is as great as it is. It's like you got to take care of yourself, right?
Exactly.
One thing I do want to say, going back to what you were talking about with like picking the best deck and stuff. One exception is like let's go back to like Spiral format for like YCS Dallas.
Sure.
That there is no option other than to play Spiral. Like, I'm sorry. Like, and I played that deck for that event, so like I know. But like if you weren't playing that deck, like you were losing. Like
I didn't play that deck.
when you're in like a tier 0.5 or like basically like on the verge of tier 0, like that deck is like you just like have to. That deck's fucking like insane.
That event, I played Ediception's card for card deck, and it was a huge mistake. You guys are absolutely right. You guys are so fucking right. I had no idea. That deck was so good. They'd be under,
but to be fair, that's the first event Helix was legal. So like it's in that weird like zone where people like, okay, we see the OCG, right? And we know like decks are like good based off of that, and we kind of make these assumptions. But sometimes it's not true. Like Sky Striker obviously took the ban list before Sky Striker became the best or like one of the best decks, right? Yeah. So, but like it's like that's when you have to figure out like as a player, you have to take the time and actually learn this deck and like realize that like holy shit, like nothing can beat this. Like this is just like ridiculously powerful. You know, and there's very few decks that have an effect like that on the game. You know, like Full Power Spiral, you know, Teledad. What else? Like Dragon Ruler's basically up there. Like Spellbook could, you know, go kind of, but I mean, I still think Dragon Ruler was like on the verge. Yeah, that's like 0.5, you know. So
Windups came out in a really diverse format, for sure. But so real quick, I want to segue. I definitely didn't I should have mentioned this at the start of the stream, but I did not. I forgot to. Whoops. We're doing a new segment, starting with Simo's segment, and we'll do it throughout the rest of our shows, where we kind of want more viewer interaction. So if we and you know, I got a lot of comments. It's like half of you guys are like, Loli, you're hilarious. Your questions are hilarious. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? And then the other side is just like, Loli, these questions just aren't good. I don't care about all this. You really think I'm leaving my house? Like, you really think I'm going out? I'm ever going to go have a drink with DZ for Simo ever? Like, it's like, okay, well, what question should I ask? Well, there's a lot of questions. So feel free in the chat section to ask questions. And then at the end of the segment, AJ will round up the best questions, top however many he wants, like 5 or 6 or 4, I don't know, or 8 if we're sticking to Yu-Gi-Oh terms. And then he'll ask him. Also, all donation questions, which the link is at the bottom, it's in our description. All donation questions get asked, regardless of how stupid they are, or pointless, or irrelevant. So you can literally ask anything, and then it will definitely get picked. So,
you know, some guy actually bought me a drink, like for like my content to like thank me once.
That's awesome.
When we were at the airport in huh?
That was your dono, a beer?
No, yeah. So like I was in the airport coming home from, I think it was Salt Lake City, and I was just charging my phone, and like some guy walks up to me and he's like, oh my God, you're Simo. Like we weren't on the same flight, but our gates were right next to each other, so we were in the same area. And so I'm just talking with him and his friend, and he was just like, can I just buy you a drink, man? Like I really just love everything that you do, and I really just want to do that for you. I'm like, okay. So shout outs to that guy. Like,
you know what, AJ, take notes, fellas. We're gonna get there one day. I'm
writing them down right here in the Google Docs.
Take notes. Okay, so now I want to pass it over. So we talked about, or now we're talking a little more about the sort of like you have to play this deck, right?
Mhm.
So I kind of want to pass it over to both you and Noah actually as my Yu-Gi-Oh experts here. One with enthusiasm, one without so much, but we'll get there. We'll get there, Noah. Don't worry. So what do you guys think right now? And asking for a friend, not asking for me, but we're going to Niagara next weekend, right? Next weekend? It's next weekend, right?
Yeah, we're technically in the new week because it's Sunday, so it'll be this weekend.
Gotcha.
It's 6 days from now. Let's put it that way.
So,
No, I'm
Am I
not able to go to Niagara.
are you going, Simo? Yeah.
No, I'm not going. I was thinking about it, and Sam was really trying to get me to go, but I couldn't make it, unfortunately.
It's tough. It's tough, man. Flying out to Niagara
Yeah,
Falls.
it's in a weird place though too, because there's no
Yeah.
airport there. You have to either fly to Toronto or go to Buffalo and cross the border from America. Anyway.
Unfortunately, I'm flying into Buffalo, sadly. So.
Right. Yeah. So so it's just awkward to get to.
I'm so
Soul of
concerned,
Egg. Thank you for the
but we'll
follow.
see. So I want to asking because I am going, right? So
Okay.
But asking for a friend. What do you guys think will be the best deck for that event? Especially because you guys are so your analytical skills, I think, in my opinion, are very heightened. So what do you guys think? What are you guys expecting?
Noah, you want to start?
Yeah. So this is going to sound super out of character, right? Trap cards are bad. But I think that Altergeist is actually a really good pick for this event because they can main deck Floodgates that just auto win versus pure, like Secret Village and not Ghost, but Rivalry. And with the release of the new card Trap Trick, it just makes them literally able to search any card in their deck whenever they want it. And I think if anybody's seen the prices on TCG Player, Thunder Dragons are super hyped, right? Colossus is like $80 or something ridiculous.
$80.
Yeah,
Crazy.
so ridiculous.
Drink.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, if you're an Altergeist player and you open up with cards like Trap Trick and you only need to see one Altergeist card, right? I think the way that people have been playing the deck is not like how I would play it personally. I would just kind of play like literally multi-faker turbo, because once you resolve one multi-faker, it's almost like Infernity where it searches the resources to then resolve multi-faker next turn and next turn. So it's like you're comboing, but on like subsequent turns, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think Altergeist is a really strong choice because it can beat things like Goki by being able to play non-engine cards like hand traps, but it can also beat pure Sky Strikers and then obviously Thunder Dragons too, because they don't really search more than once per turn. So that would actually be my choice. It's like the best call for the event. And then Goki obviously is the most powerful deck, but the fact that you just automatically lose the mirror if you lose the die roll, just kind of, I wouldn't really play it at a big event right now just because of that same factor. And there's kind of more diversity in the meta and stuff. So if you draw mirror main deck Twin Twisters against Thunder Dragons, they're useless, right? Or if you draw them in the mirror, they're useless. But then if you decide to main deck hand traps that are made for like the mirror, they might be dead against all the other decks. So I just don't think that Goki is really the choice to play for this YCS. But yeah, Simo, what are your thoughts?
So I think Niagara is going to be interesting because I think what's going to happen is it's going to be almost parallel to what happened in the OCG when Soul Fusion. So what happened was their first main set of tournaments is that Thunder Dragons had a pretty big impact. It's a new deck. People want to try it out, and it's relatively powerful. You can't really undermine the fact that the deck's it's a thing. You're gonna see it at YCSs. Here and I think London the following week. Yeah. And so what I think is going to happen is Thunder Dragon's going to have this over representation for this event, because everyone's going to try to get the cards and play it while you have that edge that people don't know how the cards work. And that usually gives you an advantage at the first YCS because you can kind of do things you might not be able to get away with at other tournaments in terms of the player not understanding your opponent rather not understanding
not cheating for the record, not cheating.
Yeah, not cheating, exactly. Yeah, just your opponent's not understanding how the cards work,
right?
And so not knowing when to stop them, for instance.
Yeah, exactly.
So what I feel is going to happen is there's going to be this massive representation for Thunder Dragons. I don't know if it's necessarily going to win, but I think it's going to have pretty decent numbers in Top Cut. But then what's going to happen is for YCS London the following week, is that everyone's going to take note that Thunder Dragons had a lot of tops, and everyone's just going to play Altergeist because Altergeist hard counters Thunder Dragons.
Right.
And then it's exactly what happened in Japan. Everyone started playing Altergeist and almost pretty much took Thunder Dragons almost completely out of the meta.
Yeah.
And then the big X factor is the fact that we have Goki for us because it is North America. So, and it's kind of like what you were saying, Noah. It's one of those things. It's a very strong deck, but you don't want to play the mirror because then you auto lose basically, unless if you lose the die roll. So it's kind of like that coin flip matchup. But it's got pretty decent matchups across the board. Thunder Dragons could be a bit rough, but I mean, again, that's just depending. I don't know. I think I probably still would play Sky Striker for this event if I were going pure, because I feel like that's just the best all around. And you just have to tune the Sky Striker deck to accommodate Thunder Dragons, because what they did in Japan was basically when Thunder Dragons came up, they started main decking in permanents. They started main decking out for the Colossus, so then that way they don't just automatically lose to it, and then they can still play. And once Sky Striker takes control, that deck's not going to lose. So if you have enough outs for the Colossus, then you're fine. And I feel like that's still the stronger deck. So I'd probably play Altergeist for London, but I would play Sky Striker for this.
My concern overall, I think so. What do you guys? I definitely want you guys' weigh in. So we were talking about how Colossus, $80. Titan, $60. Fucking one of the little guys, one of the ultra rares, $30. And you need 3 of all this shits, right? So do you think there's going to be do you think maybe there will be a slightly less representation of Thunder Dragon based on the price? No, not at all. You don't think so? Especially because
Cosmo Dark Destroyer was $150 on the floor at YCS San Jose when Cosmo Dark Destroyer came out, and I saw people whipping out $100 bills left and right to get Cosmo Dark Destroyer. So if that's the case, and that was during Necros format, mind you. So, because that was the last format, I believe it was legal, with Magispectors and Kieran and all that shit.
Right, yeah.
So, just based on that alone, the thing is with competitive Yu-Gi-Oh players, if they want to play a deck, they're going to shell out the money. There's instances where people, don't, they can't afford it, but that's few and far between compared to the amount of people that if they do want to, they find the money or they borrow the cards. That's just competitive Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Especially at the YCS level, especially.
Crazy how it's
become one thing about this deck too is that the only expensive cards are the engine cards you're going to keep playing for the whole format, right? You don't have to buy D-Barrier. D-Barrier is $100. You don't have to buy a $100 D-Barrier for your side deck too.
Right.
All the side deck cards are kind of staples that we already have. It's just really the main deck cards that you have to buy that are expensive. And then obviously the fusions, but
yeah, I think and the thing that's unfortunate is they're going to crash as soon as the set actually releases. So people have to pay hype price to get them before the tournament. And then after the tournament, they're probably going to go, unless the deck wins, then stay where they are. But just because that's what happens with, artificial hype. But they're probably going to drop down to 40, 50 for the secrets and then continue just to go down from there until they stable at I don't know, maybe 30.
Right.
Just depending on how the deck performs.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. I guess in that regard, I hope they perform terribly so I can hop on without having to sell my kidney, which I've been avoiding for a very long time. So real quick, AJ, can we get a time check? See how much time we got left in the round?
How much time we have left in
there? We gotta make it. Blame Konami.
I believe were we doing 40 minutes? Were we doing 40-minute segments this time?
Yeah.
Were we doing 40-minute segments this time, guys?
Pardon me. It's time.
Were we doing 40-minute segments, guys? What was this?
Yeah. Of course, 40 minutes in the round.
Okay, we're coming up on finishing it here for your segment. I'm gonna give you one more question to wrap it up, or do you want me to read off someone's question?
Yeah. Let's do the contextual picture segment.
Contextual picture segment.
Yeah, and then we'll sign off. Segment. So this is we did this on our very first episode, Simo, but we're bringing it back through popular demand. I really like doing this. I love doing this. So this is giving us more insight into you as a person, right? So we found some pictures online, maybe some pictures people haven't seen yet. But not to say that they're hidden, but we just found some pictures and basically we wanted a little more context in some way. So we'll post them up and then we just want to hear what you have to say.
They're running through them right now.
All right. So the first one, Okay.
They're running
here,
through in slideshow. I can stop it from doing that.
All right, yeah. So can you stop at one of them? Whichever one you stop at, I'll go on to first. There are you're gonna scroll through them a little bit.
Okay, there we go. I stopped it. All right, so let's start here with the giant card ones.
The giant card. Okay, so stop at the giant card one. Okay, so Simo. So this is a picture taken by Dan Connell, who is Underworld. Many people don't
Wait,
know.
is the picture up or is it on the Twitch chat?
It is. It's in the here. I can post on the Twitch chat too, but it's also on the stream.
Yeah, because I'm looking in Discord. I see nowhere.
Oh, right. That would help.
Let's see.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So give us a little insight into. So Dan Connell took this picture, and for those who don't know, he's an old Yugi tuber. He doesn't really Yugi tube anymore. He used to hit on my roommate a lot. Whatever, semantics. So this picture, I just kind of wanted to get the context. Like, what's the game state? What's going on here? What am I looking at? What are we looking at?
So this is at 2015 Nats in Nashville, I believe, because I think that's when I thought it would be the last time I saw Dan actually. And we were playing giant Yu-Gi-Oh, where I guess they just have like 2 random decks of cards, which are like starter decks almost.
Right.
Because of the quality of the cards. And there's an Aquamador, and I can't see what the hell what it looks like double Costin on my side. Yeah. I can't remember.
So I'm just trying to figure out, like, what is going on? That's definitely double cost on.
So basically, what I had to do was, on the mat, it says, like, draw phase, standby phase, main phase, battle phase, like, all that, like, the phases. Sure. So I had to be the marker so that people knew what phase it was in. So I had to go, like, step by step and then run back to the other side, like, every single turn.
They're really making you work out. They're making you work for it.
Oh, yeah. I think that's like pre-glasses Simo, too. So.
Do you know if they also followed end of match procedure, or was it?
No, there was no end of match procedure.
Wow, so I guess it's just us that are subject to it. All right, give us the next picture. Yes, unlucky. All right, next picture, next one. Where we at? Don't worry, it's coming. We're building suspense. That's the whole.
Oh, you're really digging if you're finding these.
Oh yeah. Oh man, you already know. I love this. Is my favorite part of the segment. Favorite part, because I love doing it.
It's fun though. It's fun.
Exactly, especially when the pictures are like super funny.
Yeah.
That's when. All right. So this. All right. So which one? Next one. All right. No worries. They're doing the slideshow again. We're not doing the.
Yeah.
we're not doing the slideshow again. We'll do individual pictures next time.
Yeah, because they it was funny though, because they needed me to I was just walking past and they're like, oh, we need someone to do this, and they just called me, yeah, okay. And it was funny too, because that was like barely I didn't even have like hardly much of a following then, but like a couple people knew who I was. That was pretty cool.
Hell yeah. So that was like your breakout. This was your breakout duel.
Yeah.
It all started with a double Coston and an Aquamador.
Yeah, which we couldn't get over because 2K ass is huge.
Did you end up winning it? Did you end up winning that duel?
Honestly, I think one of us decked out.
With those big old cards. Okay. So the next picture, we found this. This was from you, and the picture itself wasn't really a good indicator of what I'm getting at. So I decided to include your caption with it, which is I just went super, then like an emoticon face, and then your friend says, dude, why are you so godlike? With a picture of Supersonic with the 7 Chaos Emeralds, right? So
yes.
I want to ask, what was this about? What encouraged you to take this one?
Well, when you're in your room at night and midnight and you're just, browsing Pornhub. No, I'm just kidding.
Relatable.
So no, what happened was, so first of all, I love Sonic the Hedgehog. That's probably like one of my top 5, if not like favorite games of all time. And so, basically, I just like re-downloaded like one of it was like either Sonic 2 or Sonic 3, I forget which one.
Okay.
And because they just came out for Xbox 360 back then, and I was like super hyped for it. And I ended up beating the entire game and getting all of the achievements for it in less than an hour. and my friend Aaron was there with me when I did it.
Oh, okay. So that's where it all comes from. That's where.
Yeah, because he's like I told him like how much I played that game, good I was at, huh? I kind not really like speed running it, but it was like I guess like the non-speed runner speed run, if that makes sense. Like I've played it so much that I could basically probably play it like blindfolded.
Yeah.
So
Sonic is definitely part of at least the Sonic Adventure games were a big part of my childhood.
oh yeah.
So, yeah. So I
Sonic
gotta say,
Adventure 2 Battle was like, oh man.
that was a good game. It was
Yeah.
it definitely made up a lot, but you didn't hear from me. I'm not a furry. Shut up in the chat. Do not clip this. All right, next picture. Next picture. We are not furries, all right? All right, so the next one.
Yes.
What? I don't even have. I can't even introduce this. What is going on here?
Okay, so this is really funny, and you can actually see the other side of this if you watch the profile. So, this is at YCS Salt Lake City, and I'm interviewing. I don't know if you remember, but Burning Abyss. I think it was BA Infernoid or just Burning Abyss. I don't remember, but it was my friend Tamir, who's from Las Vegas. He got like top like 4 or top 8 or something at Salt Lake City playing Burning Abyss, and this is when Penned FDK and all that was pretty much like
Draco,
the deck.
Right.
Yeah. So I was recording the profile, and I think that's Team Sam to the right of me because that looks like his camera.
Sure.
And what happened was Asian Persuasion goes in the background, and he's like making faces like the whole time, just like making me laugh.
Right.
And so then he goes and like sits off to the right and like starts recording me recording him. And so I just made that face at him just to like fuck with him.
So it was just staged. This whole thing was staged. You were framed.
Yeah.
This whole picture was just framed. Unbelievable.
Exactly. No, I think I cropped it myself though. So
yeah, I think we got it from you. But we definitely need to get Asian Persuasion on and get Johnny in here, get him to explain his side.
So if you watch Tamir's profile, you can see Johnny you can see him like on the far right of the frame, like recording me.
Okay. So definitely priorities, right? Gotta record the other YouTubers.
Yeah.
Need content where you can get it.
It's YouTuberception.
So all right, let's go to the next one. Let's move on. Where is that? Which is this one? Oh yeah, okay. So let me just say, so I wanted to be a cosmetologist when I was younger, right?
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, randomly, it's like fun fact, right? That did not pan out, but so I saw this picture. And I was like, we have to include it.
Oh yeah.
Not only is it pre glasses SEMO, it's pre
beard SEMO.
Yeah, it's pre everything SEMO. Like what is going on here? What's going on with this hair?
So okay, this is a good story. So it's funny because if you look in the subtitles of my video, when I say the beginning, like what's going on, guys, it's SEMO. If you look in the subtitles, it always corrects to emo because it doesn't think SEMO's a proper noun, right?
Shit, right.
So it's funny because one of my nicknames back in middle school was Alex Emo, just because like I wore black shirts and really no other reason because middle schoolers are hilarious.
Right.
So they just called me Alex Emo all the time. And so basically this is later. This is like I think maybe like sophomore year of high school or something like that. And so a lot of my middle school friends went to high school with me because, that's kind of how it works when you live in the same area. And so, that pretty much was like part of my nickname. And so one day I went to just get a haircut and I'm just like, let's just have some fun. And so I got black and platinum blonde hair.
Jesus.
And obviously, you can see it right there. So that was pretty funny. And then it was cool for like maybe a few days, and then like I realized like I had to grow it out to get rid of it all. So like then I had like this weird I had this weird hair that was like brown, and then it was like black and blonde at the tips because I had to grow it like pretty long before I cut it. And so that was really awkward. But so that's the
we definitely have to do a comparison for sure because we had Farfa on, we had Nadir on, and we put up Nadir with dreadlocks on, right? So we need to see who did it better. Yeah. Nadir with dreadlocks or Alex Emo, like which did it better. So could you imagine if that nickname translated into your YouTube? Like, not
Right?
Simo, but
Well, so it's funny though, 'cause the
Yu-Gi-Oh! With lack of
SEMO
enthusiasm.
actually came from high school too, because I
Okay.
don't know where you went to school if they did it like this, but in PE, we all referred to each other by last name, or at least our coach referred to us by last name, just because
Right.
we had like 4 Alexes in our class,
Yeah.
so like it was just a lot easier that way. And so basically, when we're playing sports or anything, that people would just yell like "SEMO" or like they would just yell that across the field. And so then that just became like the nickname that kind of like pretty much eclipsed emo at that point, and then I just became SEMO. And that's kind of like what I just figured when I made the channel name. I'm like, well, everyone calls me that anyway, so I might as well.
Right. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next one.
I like I was trying to squeeze Noah in here too.
yeah.
Oh, it's
We're
Philip.
trying. So we definitely want to end this whole segment off on some positivity. Now we know as a content creator, I think to some degree you may also consider, or I would consider you maybe a role model for that sort of subdivision,
Oh, thank
primarily
you.
because you like to give back. You know, you're a really big fan of giving back to the community, right? So I know a bit about this picture, but I definitely, geez, Noah is just moving. He cannot keep his hands to himself right now. So I definitely want you to give like our viewers especially some insight. So what's going on in this picture? When was it? And you know what all went down.
Oh yeah, this is one of my favorite pictures ever. And if you guys want to see like more about this, I have a whole video channel like dedicated to this. So
Let's check that out.
so this is Philip. Philip has cerebral palsy, which is like probably one of the worst things you can be afflicted with, because it's like you're like your body, you're basically like a prisoner in your own body. Like you can barely do anything, but like your mind is perfectly normal. And so it's like, you know, it's not very easy for him to speak. You know, he can barely like, you know, move like just anything. But like he's like perfectly competent, and he's like really sharp, especially like when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, he's pretty knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And so last year for YCS Toronto, I decided to fly up there, and I'm like, we always like used to talk, and he was saying how like, I never like think I'm gonna be able to like it sucks because I never think I'm gonna be able to like play in like an event, because his locals is too small, so like he can't even like he can barely fit like in the area where people play, unless they like make room for him, which is it's like very difficult. He showed me his shop; it's very tiny. And it's very difficult, and plus like none of his in his family like knows how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like they don't really know anything about it. So like his parents will like take him like places and stuff like that, but like it's very limited in his experience, right? And so I'm just like, you know what? I'm like, let me give him like the opportunity that like he's probably never imagined he's going to have. And so I flew up to Toronto and for YCS Toronto, and rather than playing myself, I got him to come down. He lives like outside of Toronto, like in one of the suburbs. So his dad drove him in, and basically what we did was, so Cyber Dragons are his favorite deck, so we played Cyber Dragons. I tried to convince him to play something else, but like, but then I'm like, you know what? This is your event. Like, play you. I want you to have the most fun. Let's play.
He must have been super excited. Yeah, he must.
Right. Yeah. So I worked with Yugi No to make like the best Cyber Dragon deck.
Oh, awesome! Hell yeah.
Yeah. So we did that. We got him. We made a pretty decent list, and then what we did was, so we had to talk to the judges. I emailed Konami 3 times and never heard back. So keep in mind, I'm flying to Toronto not even knowing if I'm going to be allowed to do it.
Yeah.
So
Jeez.
we talked to the judge and the head judge, and he's just like, yeah, like you're perfectly fine to do this. So they gave him an assigned seat, which was cool. And so basically I sat like right next to him, and he would just, I would hold the cards for him. So I would be like his arms. And so he would tell me like, okay, normal summon this, like set this, like attack with this. And I would do all the motions. I'd do all the shuffling, all that. And he would just be the brains of the operation. I'm just
awesome.
Like, yeah. So I'm just like the ragdoll. Yeah.
No, give it up. Give it up for Alex and Philip, fellas. You know, give my boy a heart react and
heart react. And he told me that was like the best. It's the best summer he's ever had.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we put that picture in here, because we love to make fun, we love to tease people, we love to call people stupid, but we also love to call people out when they do something really awesome. So this is great.
one good thing that came of it too is that they actually added, because when I got back, I made a video talking about like how people with disabilities can learn about these resources and actually play, because it was very difficult for us to find it. So I'm like, holy shit, like how do other people find out? So I made a video about it. And then what happened was I actually talked with one of the head judges at Nats, and he told me they put a section in the FAQs now for YCSs for people with disabilities that basically says, if you like have a disability, like talk to us or email us, like we'll figure out how to accommodate you. And that did not exist before. And that was one of my critiques in that video that I made. So it was actually cool that they listened and incorporated that. And I don't know if it helped anyone, but even if it helped one person, then I think that's something that was really cool. So
hell yeah. I agree. You know what? Good shit, Philip. And Alex, thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, of course.
How much time do we got? AJ, how much time? AJ? Well, ideally 40, but I know we went kind of over that. I know we went into time.
We got an extension. Okay.
Yeah. No worries. I appreciate it, AJ. AJ, so to wrap things up, again, thank you so much for being on with us, Simo.
Yeah, of course.
So AJ, do you have any viewer questions or anything you want to add?
I pulled up a few viewer questions here. Not many questions were said. There was just mainly commentary.
No worries. Any comments too? You can add those.
Okay, so what do you guys think about this statement? Money is not going to stop the top players.
Simo, I'll leave that one to you.
I feel like that's true. Like, it's one of those things where if someone wants to play a deck, most of the time they're either going to find the money to buy the card, or they're going to have friends or resources to get the cards and borrow them for the tournament. I feel like if someone's motivated enough, nothing's going to stop them.
Agreed on that one. What do you think, Noah?
Yeah, well, I think he's talking to you, Alex, a little bit too. Other Alex, excuse me, Base Lolly. Refer to him on this channel as Base Lolly exclusively. But yeah, I think he's telling you if you really want to play Thunder Dragons, you gotta man
you
up.
gotta shell out.
Yeah, I gotta call parents. Yeah, I bet mom, dad help.
I'm gonna go get a knife.
In all seriousness, I agree.
Alex.
So, all right, do we got any other ones?
Oh yeah, totally. But I really agree with that. If the people think they're good enough to win with the stuff, so they'll dish out the money to win with the stuff, and then they'll get rid of it later if they really care about it.
Conversely, though, I will say before you go on, you don't need to shell out to win. There are plenty of instances where people have brought like $100, $150 Draco decks and have topped events. So
that's definitely true. That is definitely
it goes both ways. Not to say that one's not more true, but they're both true statements. At least I feel.
Simo, you know how I feel about that deck. You know, I got a ton of flack for that video I put on your channel, not because of anything super important, but it was because I was like, "Don't play Draco."
Don't play Draco. I saw the comments.
I know everyone was like, and you know, I was telling Lithium, I was like, "Bro, you get like, as a professional duelist, you cannot read the comments because." You know, like some of them are just crazy and they'll ignore them, right? But some of them are just like slightly true, and the slight truth when you read them, you're like, oh fuck, these dudes are onto something. Like they could just say like that later shit, like Face Lolly's an idiot, and fuck him, and he sucks, and he can lick my nuts, and also Draco doesn't suck. I don't want to spend that much money. And then you're gonna read that last part, and you're fuck, maybe I was acting up a little bit, and then the whole statement kind of closes in on you. Ah, shit. So I try not to read them, but everyone was like, come on, Lolly, we don't want to spend like $400 for engages. I was like, all right, I guess you're right. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it's not guaranteed you're going to win, but it's like, it can happen is the thing. Yeah. So.
Right. All right. We got
any questions?
I have another question, but this one's like a Vanguard type of question. I don't know if you guys want
hit it on us.
All right. If you guys know about Vanguard,
don't know anything. Do it.
If we don't know anything, then okay, this is probably not gonna make any sense. Yu-Gi-Oh is great, but have you ever hit 2 crits on a twin drive using Dragonic Overlord at Vanguard Regionals?
I actually know what that means.
You do?
Really?
I do. Yeah. So okay. So funny story. One of my good friends who lives in Arizona now. He plays Vanguard. He was actually one of like the top-rated Vanguard players in the world. Like back maybe like a few years ago when he played. And so like he taught me like one time when we hung out. So I actually know what crits are, and I know like what double crit is and all that. So I could see why that'd be a really good feeling.
Yeah. No, I have one friend who he's a self-proclaimed Vanguard master who's been to Worlds twice, but also for some reason he can't he doesn't have the self-control to not spit inside his card shop. So they had to put up a sign saying no spitting in the store, which is really weird. Like that's so bizarre. It's one of my most,
That's so random. What does that even mean?
it just says no spitting in the store. And
Why
when we
would he
went,
be spitting in the store?
I took my friend Garen Williams. I'm sure you know him, Simo.
Oh yeah, he lives here.
Yeah, because he's from Vegas, right? I took my longtime friend Garen Williams to take him to the store, and he just busts out laughing. He's like, "Dude, you really are spitting in stores?" But they go like I'm like, "Oh my god, dude! Like these people really do that."
Wow,
So
really?
yeah, I mean that's my impression of Vanguard players. But your
One of
friend's
our
probably
card shops, we actually had a dedicated helmet. If anyone was playing a helmet deck, we'd grab it and put it on their head. That was pretty fun.
Jesus, man, these locals are getting wild nowadays.
That makes it fun though.
Yeah, true. All right, what else we got? Any other questions, or should we wrap this up?
No more questions. Those are I through some filtering. Those are the best I found.
No worries. Now, remember, fellas, keep your questions coming in, and the best questions will make it to the stream. However, if you donate, your question will 100% make it to the stream. So, if you want to, if you think your question might suck or may not be picked, then I mean, maybe that's your best chance because we will literally ask anything. If it's that point, but otherwise, I'll leave it to AJ to pick the best question. So, with that said, Simo, thank you so much for being on with us, man.
Oh yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, really appreciate it. I'm glad we went a little over, but that's fine. You know, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad we got this intimate discussion. If you have any closing thoughts.
No, I think we're all set. Yeah, ready to go for Niagara. Good luck to you, Loli. Shelling out your cash for your top deck.
Yeah, leave the dragons, dude.
You already know. I'll call mom and dad. You know, tell them Simo told me I'll find. Hey, come on, mom. Like, you gotta pay up. Like, yeah.
Who needs school?
Yeah. Come on, I'm being responsible. You know, I'm only 25. Like.
We're millennials. It's fine.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, perfect. All right. Simo, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a lot of fun. If you guys ever want to have me on again,
let's do it.
I got time. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do it. We'd love that. We'd love that. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
All right. That said, take care, buddy. All right. So, man, that was awesome. Simo is dope. I'm glad we got him on, man.
Yeah,
the cameras are probably all out of whack in a second. We're back to the stream starting soon section, but don't go anywhere because next we're going to have the one, the only. I mean, I guess Simo is basically Doug Zeef, but we're going to have D Zeef, the man with a plan. The man who literally sat there and said in 2015 that Madolche is scarier than Necrods. Yes, we're going to ask him all about it, of course. We're not going anywhere. But give it up in the chat, fellas. One more time for Simo. Make it like a heart or something. I don't know. We can do something, man. But yeah, we're gonna get him on. We're gonna get him on right now. Let's we'll be back in one moment.
Under the call, boys.
Oh, wait a minute.
Death Knights are cool. Thank you for the follow. All right, guys, you gotta pay the boss. To be the boss, you were correct. Simo, yeah, we'll get Simo on another time. Death Knights are cool. Where have you found us from? The Zeph's channel. Oh, awesome. Thank you. The Golden Horde. Oh boy. Hype, dude. Yeah, we're waiting on our hosts and guests to be ready. I am here with some music and interaction to enjoy.
Be stupid. Oh no. Hello?
Hey, how's it
Can
going?
you hear us? Can you hear us, Doug Z?
Yeah, I don't know how to get my camera working though.
No worries. He said his house has bad lighting at night. So this is
Well, not like
I was
yeah,
like,
not
damn,
like,
this is black. Like I was like, man, you must be living with candles. I'm like, geez.
yeah.
Yeesh.
I'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah. You know what? Let's just do us for now, and then we got the voice of
Hello, stream.
Dougie Z. Yeah, hell yeah. Get him on.
OBS.
All right, we're up. Are we on? Are we on? Are our faces on? All right. What's going on? You already know who. You don't, because Doug Zeef brought you here. It's Base Lolly, your man's with the clan. One of the best duelists in the world, 45th on champ rank. You already know. But as for you casual players out there, I love you. I respect you. And I think your deck is dope, and I probably know what you're going to do. And to all you role players out there, I love you too, whatever. Thank you for joining us today. Before I introduce our special guest, first of all, I want to introduce my co-host and my engineer. So my co-host, No Bagelman, shout out to him. You know, he invented Pendulum FTK. So if you don't like him, I'll understand. Just kidding. He's one of the smartest guys ever. His dad is also in the chat, so say hello to him. Shout out to Cyber Diddy. And then a quick shout out to AJ Thaxton, our engineer in the back. Without him, we definitely could not run this stream. Definitely not. Like, there's no way I could do it on my own, for sure. So however, he's logged.
There.
So
Maybe that'll work.
yeah, so yeah, we are just all over the place right now. So AJ will be calling Doug Zeef DZF. Please do not be triggered. It's just what we're doing. It's just how we roll, you know. It's just how our boy is. What are you gonna do? So then right before we introduce our special guest, which is probably how you got here, quickly I want to announce, you know, as many of you know, he's coming, don't worry. Doug Zeef is coming. Not DZF, but Doug Zeef. He's coming, don't worry. Just calibrating some issues. So a lot of you guys know, a lot of you guys play in real life, a lot of you guys know, man, Soul Fusion's coming out, and I really want to play my cool Thunder Dragon, archetype only, like no pens, no synchro, no XYZs, but fusions only, my cool Thunder Dragon deck. Awesome, great. That's dope. But you go online, you're looking it up, and you're like, man, Thunder Dragon Colossus is $80. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, huh? Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's crazy. I mean, let's not lie to each other here. That's crazy. So we want to help you out. We're on your side. We're on the casual player side. We're on the competitive player side. My camera's going everywhere on screen. So if you go to cardoverflow.com, and we'll link it. He's coming. Look at this. He even has a bigger screen region than we do. If you want to get the cards for cheaper, head over to cardoverflow.com, one of our endorsers, and use our discount code DGZLolly5. You will get a discount, a premier discount for your cards, and they're foreign. So if you want to go in, you want to try hard, you want to be you want to be really mean to your opponent, you want to shark them, fuck it. You have all the tools necessary. You have the foreign card, you have the calculator case, you can probably get the Adderall somehow too. We can't help you with that, but we can definitely help you with the cards. So cardoverflow.com, use our discount code DGZLolly5. Now, without further ado, hopefully, did we get him? His mic is still muted. I gotta intro this guy. How long can I just hype up Soul? How long can I hype this set up for? You know, man, he said his lighting. He told me in chat. He said the lighting in my house at night is really bad.
Okay, it should be my voice should be working, but I actually don't know what's wrong with the camera. It's like not.
Have you tried enabling it in your settings?
Yeah, it's enabled. I know. Yeah, it's enabled. That part's.
Hey, we do have some nice pictures that we had lined up for later. Maybe we can throw one of those up now.
Sure.
Oh yeah. You know what?
You and Simo were looking at. It looked really fun.
Yeah, let's. You know what? We do have a picture. Especially, you know, you brought us so many viewers, so we do have a couple. We do have a picture we can use as a placeholder for your face, considering your webcam doesn't work. So let's throw the
Medolce picture.
No.
I think off the top of my head, I actually do know what that is. Nice.
You have to. No. Let's throw up the the one with the one that we really like. The one that Noah posted on
Yeah,
page. Okay, we can post that one up too.
Okay,
That one's good too. All right, we just do the whole slideshow. We're gonna start with this segment. All right,
here we go.
So we're gonna start a little backward. All right. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce our special guest. Super excited. Please
Holy
give
shit,
it
I
up.
got the camera working. Hold on, everyone, hold the phone. I got the camera working.
Take the fucking picture off. Take it off. Just take it down.
I got
All our
working.
work.
Okay.
Amounted to nothing.
Holy fuck, that was
Take it
so
down.
hard.
Put our man's Dougie Z back up.
Damn, that was tough. I hate Discord.
Put him back up. All right, we got him. All right. Without further ado, let's give it up for the one and only, the Pokemon himself, the Spheal. What else? The Madolche God himself. You know, don't hate on Madolche. Give it up.
Hey, I got a regional top of that deck, so.
Give it up for regional topper Doug Z. Woo! Yeah. Stop. All right, Doug. First of all, thank you so much for being on with us. Really appreciate it. So my first question to you, right now we decided to jump off. We decided to start off a little slow with Simo, in my opinion. We asked him a lot about Yu-Gi-Oh, and I think a lot of people are. I mean, a lot of people really want to know about Yu-Gi-Oh, but I think a lot more people really want to know the hard-hitting facts. That was Jiren. That is not what I was talking about. So, yeah. So, they want to know the hard-hitting facts. So, first of all, AJ, if you could run the pictures, we'll start with the pictures first. We did this with Simo.
We're still starting with the pictures. Okay.
We're gonna do it. So we put up a bunch of pictures of Simo and we asked for context. We're like, just give us some context, right? So, Doug, just you can actually just throw up the whole slideshow. Actually, like,
are these being posted in the Discord, or do I have to open the Twitch stream?
So AJ on our Discord will share his screen. That way you can see it in real time. Whereas, so you can be on board with us as we're using that. So you can see his screen,
Nice.
right? Right.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Perfect. So throw up a couple. So okay. So first of all, there is this one. I just want to know what happened here. We found this picture, just kind of looking around. We see you with yourself, aka Simo. So I wanted to get some context on this picture.
That's an old picture of Alex too. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So what is going on here? How long ago could this have been?
Well, let's see. Alex doesn't have glasses on, so it must have been when we first started dating, I guess. I don't know.
Jeez, man. Jeez Louise. Must have been. Time flew. All right, you know what? Just give us the next picture, because you're going to find out all these pictures have a trend. They have a common trend. To preface it, I'll tell you, as someone who plays Yu-Gi-Oh, and as someone who has been very open about playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and finally, as someone who calls himself based Loli. By the way, I do not touch kids. I do not endorse the touching of children, or especially younger women, like underage. Do not endorse that at all. Do not put that on me. It's just a name that stuck, right? So anyway, people hear that and they're like, "Yo, this is a fucking nerd," like this dude's a fucking weirdo. And and so run the slideshow, AJ. Just run it. So you're gonna see, Doug. You're a good guy.
To be fair, that girl's 13, so if anyone's pawning after that, I think we're looking at all underage women here.
All right, look. We didn't know that. But look, all we can say is, like, we see Doug, and Doug, you look like a Yu-Gi-Oh player, man. You look awesome, but all right, don't show that picture. Take that picture down. Remove that picture. We don't need to see that picture yet. Do not read that picture. We're saving it. Fuck it. Just leave it in the slideshow. So, you look like a Yu-Gi-Oh player. You look like kind of maybe like a little bit of a nerd, right? But in all these pictures we found of you, you're always with these girls, and they're just all over
Simo,
you.
yeah.
And Simo. And so, if I knew the secret as to getting Simo all over me too, I would run it. But, and especially if you go through Facebook, there are a lot of pictures, you and your girlfriend, by the way, gorgeous. So, what is some advice you could give? Asking for a friend. What is some advice you could give people? Especially people who play Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, how do you find Like, how do you find love, man? How do you get a girl?
I like how that
like
one's just
this?
like left up on the screen.
Like, look at this. Yeah,
Um,
just leave that one up. It's the most provocative, and we do not know if she's
Jeez.
13. If she is 13, we do not endorse.
channel is called Base Loli though, so it's a
Yeah,
little
look,
iffy.
look. I will say that I can still run for president.
Jesus Christ. Man, I was so much nerdy in high school than I am now. I don't know. I didn't really play Yu-Gi-Oh in high school too often, so I guess that probably helped.
Well, I guess you got to drop Yu-Gi-Oh. Sorry.
Yeah, like
fella.
I know I just didn't play the game very much. That was during 2009, so like right when Teledad was happening, or right after Teledad, all the way through like Dino Rabbit. So like very, very expensive. And a high school or a student just doesn't have that kind of money. So I didn't really play it during that. I was more like a video game nerd, same kind of nerd. Well, different kind of nerd, but same occupation of being a nerdy person.
Right.
I don't know, like just being yourself. I can say from I've with my current girlfriend, she always tells the story of if I would have told her I was a Yu-Gi-Oh player on the first day, she would have never dated me, just because like the preconceived notations of that and stuff.
Wow.
But if I told her, she found it like a month in. Not that I was like actively trying to hide it. I just like even on my Facebook page it said like, oh, works at like writes at tstuplayer.com. Like, what does that mean? But I don't know. Like, I think you just got to realize that when you tell someone that you play card games, you have to set yourself up to break a stereotype that definitely does exist.
Right.
Even if they already know you and like are into you and that kind of stuff, the second you say like I'm a card game player, because at this point like video games aren't really nerd culture anymore.
Yeah,
everyone's playing.
Yeah, they're pretty much in popular
But with
culture.
card games, it's like that's still pretty nerdy, and it's not
Yeah. helped
helped by the fact that like 90% of the player base is very, maybe not 90%, but a good portion of the player base is like undateable people, right? So that you have to sort of
Yeah,
break out from that.
Sadly.
No, it's like when you go to events, you're never
Right.
surprised who you see with a girlfriend. Does that make sense? Like just like it's not surprising when you see like certain people with a girlfriend and like other people don't have a girlfriend. You're like, yeah, that makes sense. Like that, I understand where they're coming from there. So you realize that you have to break out from like what people are going to think about you the second you say card game.
Right.
Let alone
right.
before you even tell them how much money you spend on the card game, because then it's like a whole nother bag of worms.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I haven't even. Yeah, no, you're right. All right, let's quickly veer out of this topic quick before I get as far as spending money on card games. So now there's one more picture I want to go over. However, AJ, I do not want to go over it yet. I definitely want to sort of okay, you put it up anyway. All right, so let me put a little bit of background here. And Noah and I, you can put it back up, put the picture back up. Noah and I, please. Noah and I got actually into a little bit of a fight this morning, and we're co-hosts, but we have very differing opinions, and that's why we're co-hosts, right? Noah is under the impression that if you're not playing a combo deck that takes 80 hours per week to refine, then you're not playing Yu-Gi-Oh right. And my opinion is, if you're not playing the coolest deck in the room, you're not playing Yu-Gi-Oh right. So clearly, we just have this big discrepancy already, like right out the gate. So I was trying to tell him I wanted to showcase this picture. Now I'm sure you remember this article, low key teleport Madolche.
Of course.
It's a very, I would like to say, controversial article. But I showed it
only
to
with
him.
6 people. It was very controversial for 6 people.
You're right. Excuse me. Very controversial for 6 highly antagonistic people. Let me add, with probably nothing better, nothing better to do. Me being one of them.
Right.
So at the time anyway. So in the article, I showed it to Noah. Noah didn't play back then. Noah is a very new up and coming player. He was only played 6 months ago. He invented some of his claims to fame. He invented Pendulum FTK. So everyone who loved Pendulum FTK format, you can thank Noah. I already thanked him enough. Woo! Thank you. Oh yeah. No. Thank you for that. So I show him this and I tell him, I can't believe this dude posted this in Necroz format when Necroz was just such a powerhouse of a deck. And it literally reads, every time I see my opponent summon a Manju of 10,000 of the 10,000 hands, I breathe a sigh of relief because it's not a Madolche and Jelly. Now, keep in mind, I took this quote as we took it at the time, which was out of context. So this is entirely out of context. And then he says, that's right, I'm more afraid of Madolche than I am Necroz. So only reading those lines, right? I show it to Noah, and I'm like, Noah, like we have to talk about this with Doug on stream. It's so funny. And Noah said, "What's so funny about it?" I'm like, well, I mean, Necroz was just insane. And he's like, well, Madolche was under the radar. I mean, they could just kill you. And I was like, but no,
No,
the quad was so good. And he's like, well, no, I can let you take it away. I don't want to speak.
Yeah. I mean, you're describing something that's scary, right? It's not scary when someone normals mans you. You know, they're searching Brio, they're searching Klaus, right? They're searching like a combo piece. It's not just going to like overwhelm me, right? But when they normal summon Angeli, that's getting Hoot Cake, which is getting another Madolche from the deck, which leads to Tiara Misu shuffling away all your cards, right? That's scary. I don't want my cards to be shuffled without targeting, right? That's terrifying. But like just summoning a Unicorn, right? That's consistent, and that's like
I
very
love this
powerful,
because this
so
is
it's not
exactly
scary.
what I was thinking
Yeah.
when I was writing that. No, more importantly, I was basically just saying it in the same way that like right now, I don't think Gemini FTK is a good deck, but I don't want to fucking play against Gemini FTK. It's fucking boring.
Yeah.
So in this article, what I should have said is that I don't like playing against Madolches. I don't think it's very fun. But this actually, I mean, this article in general, like, really taught me to be careful about what I said in line or on in line. I wrote this article online. No, it taught me to be very careful about what I should say online, how I should phrase it, from being antagonized. And I think that's interesting, and it was a valuable lesson. I was only, let's see, 2015. I was like 18 or 19 at that time. So I hadn't really experienced a lot of like negative feedback for anything because I just wasn't. It's the same kind of thing when like a 500 sub channel gets like their first troll and like they're like, oh, holy crap, someone actually can dislike me. Because you don't really start getting that until like a bigger channel. So like in this case, my articles were being read by thousands of people, but like most people like didn't leave a comment. So this was like the first time that I had really gotten like a lot of negative feedback, and it actually sort of built me up to prepare myself for doing that later on, where I am like right now, where like every day, like I'm getting obviously lots of negative feedback from people that think like the Egyptian gods are like the best cards ever. So it was a pretty valuable lesson, even if at the time, I don't know if I was like quite ready for that, but it did kind of just throw me into this world of realizing that the things, I think the most important lesson from this was that I realized that my things were being read by all levels of players and that I should really watch what I say.
You know, much to your credit, though, if you read the whole article and not just this snippet, you know, and that's why I showed it to Noah, and I was like, this snippet is hilarious. Because, and that's where we disagreed, because he's like, it's not funny. You summon Manju, summon Unicorn. That's it. Your turn ends. And then they summon Angeli, and then they kill you. I'm like, well, what? I mean, like, that's basically, like, I could just gin lock you and lose, right? Well, anyway, semantics, right? But if you read the whole article is actually a really, really interesting article. It's just like, it was like a small sentence. It was an inconsequential sentence trying to make a comparison that just like it just not only did it miss the mark with these 6 people, right, but also it was just totally taken out of context. So context is important.
Well, and that was back when I was writing articles at that time. The big thing was that one sentence hook. So that's like the one sentence hook. That's like, I don't know, but no, it's still like kind of true, like, you know, in a weird way. Like, I don't want to play against decks like super heavy samurais because I don't want to read any of those fucking cards. Like, right before I got on here, like we lost on stream to Orphagels because he summoned like 3 link monsters and I didn't read any of them, and then I just summoned a guy and I don't know what happened. I don't know what the setup requires, but like all my guys went to 0 attack and all of their effects were negated. Like, I don't know why that happened. I'm not gonna know why that happened, but like that's like the thing where it's like playing against like really random decks just that you're not prepared for can like totally like catch you off guard. Like, it's awful.
Yeah. No, I agree. Not only do I agree because of that, but I agree because I have no idea what Orphagels or whatever they are do. I have to refer to my local anime fan for that one, but eventually we'll figure it out. But I do agree with that. It was just a funny article to take out of context for sure. But I definitely wanted to bring it up, kind of highlight it, because of course that is how I kind of was introduced to you. That was sort of like my introduction to Doug Z, right? But you know, again, to your credit, I think the content you produce on YouTube. Now, for those of you who don't know, although albeit many of you who are here, the 130 of you are here, I'd like to say maybe the 150 or 130, 125 of you are from Doug's channel. So,
well, and actually, there's 200 more that are listening on my live stream right now.
Oh, hell yeah. All right. Well, what up, YouTube? You already know. Please follow us on Twitch, Loli TV. We don't endorse touching little girls, and we don't obsess over anime, but it's just a name that's stuck. Also, follow us on Facebook. Another real thing, or another thing real quick I wanted to mention before we move on also is that a lot of so for you Doug Z fans out there, I'm sure he gives you guys all the love and attention you want. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat, and then at the end of the segment, our engineer AJ will pick out the best questions and then ask them. So but you can look more into our description, our Twitch description for that. So anyway, moving on. Doug, you've been kind of, and I'm going to pass this off to Noah here in a second. You've been kind of a little bit, I'd like to say, in the limelight in the sense that you've actually had some premier Yu-Gi-Oh success recently, no?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit, almost.
So you know what? I'm giving you credit. I think, I saw it. I saw the ARG deck profile. I thought it was awesome. We were just talking about why Altergeist might be the best pick for Niagara Falls. So as an as the local Altergeist expert, what do you and I'm going to pass it off to Noah here as my local Yu-Gi-Oh expert. What do you have to think about that?
I mean, I think Secret Village is really strong right now. I think Rivalry is becoming worse. I noticed that at what's that last YCS? YCS Columbus. I noticed that Rivalry was like definitely becoming worse as things went along. It's really bad against pure trick stars. They don't, because it used to be really good. Rivalry used to be really powerful against Hornet drones specifically, and now there's not as many people playing that card, so that really sucks. It's still okay against Sky Strikers, but it's no longer. And like Goki's less popular. It was really good against Goki, but I think like Secret Village is just insane. And the cool thing about Secret Village, the reason it's such a dumb card is because unlike Rivalry, there's no counterplay to Secret Village. You can't. So often you'll like flip Rivalry and they'll just twin twister it. With Secret Village, you just put it up there and they can't activate any cards. They can like Typhoon you and they can evenly match you. But as far as game one, the only out they have is summon Ray, main phase 2, make Clara and Rushka. But what you can do to that is when they enter main phase 2, you can just attempt to bounce the Ray with the level 2 guy, and then they'll have to. I mean, maybe they'll let it bounce back to their hand if they're smart. But if they don't, they'll tribute it for one of the Link monsters. Well, now they can't make Clara and Rushka because it has to use a normal summon monster. Yeah. So it's like I think that the Secret Village. I know that people keep putting the Clara and Rushka on their deck and saying this is my out to Secret Village, but I don't think they've really thought about that far enough to realize that that doesn't always work. And also you have to hard draw the Ray because you don't have access to engage anymore. Right.
You need to play a lot of normal summons too. And most, I played Clara and Rushka in one of my Sky Striker decks too, but I only played 6 monsters. So really, what was the point? I'm thinking back on it. I'm like, what the fuck was the point? I had to have hard drawn one of my 6 monsters and then hopefully it doesn't have Liquidus. So.
Mm-hmm. I think people just put it in there because they don't want to enter a tournament and say, I have no outs to this card if it gets activated.
Makes sense. No, what do you think?
Yeah, I talked about this before when we were talking with Seema about the strength of Secret Village. It kind of like harkens back to when you would have Kieran Secret Village. It's kind of like they normal summon their 1 out to it and you just bounce it away and then they're kind of screwed. But so what do you think about Trap Trick? It's a card just came out in the last.
Yeah, Trap Trick is it's cool. It's basically just like giving you a 4th and 5th and maybe even 6th extra copy of any normal trap card in your deck. I think good targets for that are like Mind Crush, and Permanence is pretty good. If Thunder Dragons do become very popular, it's like extra copies of Dimensional Barrier, which is like insane. In the Secret Village version, if you're playing Metaverse, it can get Metaverse. It's a pretty exciting card. I don't know if I'll find it's one of those cards where like if the deck size was bigger, I would probably play it for sure. But with a 40 card deck and a 15 card side deck, sometimes it's difficult actually finding the room to play extra copies of cards. I'm already like tight for space, but it's cool. It's interesting.
Yeah, it definitely lets you. It's another trap that's good going second because you can activate it and get something like evenly matched, and then you can still activate evenly matched during that same turn. So I just think it's really good for the strategy since you talked about how Rivalry is kind of not as good anymore with not as many people playing Goki. And with Thunder Dragons, right, all they do is just summon Thunder monsters. It's kind of irrelevant in that matchup. So I think Trap Trick definitely something to look out for.
It's just added consistency to a deck that sometimes can struggle. I mean, that's like the biggest issue with Altergeist, right, is that they sometimes just don't draw a monster, or they'll draw a hand of like Marionetter, level 2 guy, and then like Meliseek, and then like a random like non-trap card, and that's like unplayable. So like consistency is like the biggest issue, and I think Trap Trick can sometimes smooth that out by giving you access to those really powerful trap cards.
Do you think that those like consistency issues would prohibit Altergeist from actually like winning a major event?
Winning? No, like I think that they can like win. They're just never going to be the best deck. That's like the issue. Like if they ever become too good, people will just play Red Reboot, Evenly Matched, Typhoon, Twin Twisters, all those cards. And already it's getting kind of hard. I mean, if you watched like Base Lolly's deck profile, he's playing MST and Twin Twisters in the main. Those cards make playing Altergeist increasingly difficult. It feels like every single week it becomes harder and harder. And then like I was trying to play like Waking the Dragon, but that card is just like a do nothing card a lot of the times. Like I played it at my locals, and there's like one match where like I baited someone into activating it, and I just won immediately. And there's another match where my opponent doesn't hit it, and then I just lose because I have a dead card. And it's cards like that are so polarizing that it's really hard to like. It doesn't feel good to play Waking the Dragon. It doesn't feel good to play a card you can't activate ever. But like I don't know what else you do against Twin Twisters and MST. You can play Magic Deflector, and that card's pretty cool, but it is a -1 that isn't really good unless you have Multi-Faker. And sometimes it can hit a good Twin Twisters. I think cards Shared Ride are really good. I know Bowden he played 3 copies of Shared Ride in his Altergeist list, and I'm currently playing at least 2 for YCS Niagara. That card super impactful. You can draw, it helps you draw into the Multi-Faker, it helps you draw into the hand traps, helps you draw into, like, we're in a control format, which doesn't usually happen in Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, very rarely. It seems like at least a year since it's been a control format, probably since Full Power Zoo or whatever, but it is a control format. Like, Sky Strikers don't really OTK you, and Trickstars aren't that popular anymore. Like, they can put a lot of damage, and Goki aren't that popular anymore, so it's more a control format, so you can afford to play cards like Shared Ride. Very often, just setting Shared Ride with a playable hand is good enough to have enough follow-up to actually beat your opponent's board.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And playing, it's kind of polarizing. I know a lot of Altergeist players hate Pot of Desires in the deck because, you know, you banish your Silquidus. So Shared Ride kind of provides draw power for the deck outside of like Duality if you play that, because otherwise it's like you draw your 5 and that's your hand for the game. So yeah, I think those cards are super key in the deck. So was there anything you wanted to mention about what you think you would play if you were going to go to Niagara? I don't know if you are going to Niagara.
Oh yeah, I am going to Niagara. I'll probably play Altergeist. Like Let's do it. I think it's strong.
Yeah.
Like it seems like a really good. Like I said, it's not really a meta choice, but it's like an anti-meta. I mean, it's popular. Like it's not like Inspector Board or Stun, but it isn't like the most popular deck. And I think that a lot of people still don't like. I still play people like that don't know what the cards do, and that's so weird to me. Like
cards have been out longer than Sky Striker.
Yeah, like, and obviously they sucked when they first came out, but like still, like I feel like you should like know, like people just never know which part of the effect is like a cost. People still, even when I have like a spoofing up, will like try to stop a manifestation with like an MST or a Cosmic Cyclone. Like people just don't know how to play against the deck, or people will like very often they'll like ash the Multi-Faker in hand so that like I know that I have so that I say, okay, you can't do that, and then like you summon the Multi-Faker, they try to ash it again, and then you flip the protocol that you set with the Marionette. And they're like, "Oh, what the hell?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like, it's just
what the hell? What's happening?
Like, what are all these cards? That's how that works." That's
funny.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, I definitely I like the surprise factor in Altergeist too. I mean, okay, not really surprised because it's had such big showings recently, I think. But people are just, I mean, it's like they don't see an engage, you know. You open your turn and you don't start with an engage. They breathe aside or they breathe a sigh of relief, right? But no, like seriously, like it's like they don't even like really consider it anymore, because it's like my opponent's deck sucks. He's not playing engage, or he's not he didn't summon Super X, you know, like the Goki monster, like you linking me. So, but yeah, that deck is a very potent, especially because Soul Fusion just came out, and so we were talking a little bit about Thunder Dragon, and I wanted to kind of get your insight. Now we talked about it. And Simo and Noah were under the opinion, and I guess I kind of agreed that the top player, like we went on we went online and we looked at the prices for. Damn, I'm literally running on a cold here. This is embarrassing. I feel like Cobzold right now. So geez. We went online on TCG Player site, and we saw Thunder Dragon Colossus is like $80, and Titan, which and you need to play 3 Colossus, of course, and Titan, which you need to play 2 or 3 of, is 60, and then one of the ultra rares is 30. You know, the price is like, I compiled it all together. and the whole core itself is maybe about $550. And these are all core cards you need to play the Thunder Dragon deck. Like, not even counting the other support, like
impermanence and ash and stuff
right,
like that. Yeah.
Or like the hand traps, or like the gold sarks, or the other supports. This is just strictly out of Soul Fusion. So do you think Thunder Dragon will have a high representation? Because what they were saying was, okay, it doesn't matter how much it costs, the pro players will find a way to buy it. Like, they'll figure out a way to get the card. Do you think that's the case? And if so, do you think Thunder Dragon will have a high representation for Niagara?
I mean, I think it is true that like the pro players will always find the cards. You can look at the first YCS that Zodiac was out. You can look at the first YCS that Skystrikers were out. You can look at the first YCS that Necros were out. That deck was like $1,000. People will always never underestimate the wallet of the top players, or in many cases, what a lot of people don't realize is that the top players are just borrowing cards. I mean, how many times have you seen named players? I mean, hell, Base Loli himself, but even like Jeff Jones and Billy Drake, you'll watch their profiles where half of the profile, they just put like a sleeve down and say like, oh, I was just borrowing this for my friend. Like, it's true. Like, it's, a couple people have said that like the best players will always find a way to get their cards, and hopefully that doesn't mean like rob someone for it. Hopefully it just means that they'll have a good friend group that wants to give them the good cards. But I think in the case of Thunder Dragons, the difficult part is that it gets outed every single time by impermanence, every single time by Widow Anchor. And I think that if you can make double Colossus, that's what it's called now. If you make double of that card, that seems really strong. But consistency is an issue. Like, I think that it definitely is one of those decks. It's crazy that we got to the point where like I'm even questioning if a deck in a search heavy format where it can make a 2600 mistake with protection every single hand pretty much. Like, that's the bad opening. It's crazy that I'm thinking like maybe this isn't the best deck, but Yu-Gi-Oh's more. It's not so much about single impactful cards. It's about all the ways you get there, and then like the deck you played in, and like how good is it going second, how good is it post side decking, are there cards that hard counter it like Dimensional Barrier, are they going to be popular? I mean, it's just, I don't know, like I'm not the type of player to play Thunder Dragons. Like, I want to play that deck, it looks really cool, but I don't have the mental capacity to play combo decks like that. I just summon trap card or set trap cards, summon 1600 attack monsters. But I think it's a cool deck. It's just one of those decks that I feel, I should say, I think that YCS Niagara is the best time to be playing it. No one knows how to play against it. No one even knows what half the cards do. And I think that even professional players, but even the players that are like the top players, I think many of them will like know the fusion monsters, but they won't know the like the actual individual plays. And as someone that like has played Altergeist for so long, like it's really important knowing what a deck can do. And I think that one of the reasons that like that deck will be successful, if it is successful at YCS Niagara, is simply because it no one knows what they're playing against. Like, they know that there's a 2600 mistake, but they don't know what the other cards do. I think a lot of people don't realize that if you discard a Thunder card at any point for the rest of the turn, you can just tribute any Thunder to summon a Colossus. It's not just once per turn. I think a lot of people don't realize that Titan can miss timing, just like the Paleozoics. If anyone in chat, I post this on Twitter, but if your opponent discards like the Thunder Dragon Egg from their hand, if you chain anything to that card, they can't trigger the Titan because it has to be exactly, it's not a trigger effect. It has to be done exactly in response to the card. So don't get cheated on that. I think little stuff like that people like haven't figured out yet. So I think it'll be interesting to see how well the deck performs at YCS Niagara.
So do you think it's worth preparing for it? Like, do you think it's really worth like dedicating like a big amount, like especially like, let's say you're playing like Skystrike, right? Do you think it's important? Maybe you're like, all right, fuck it, like I'll put in maybe 5, 6. Do you think it's worth dedicating a couple cards to it like that? Specifically?
I don't know. It's tricky, like specifically. Like, I guess, like, I don't know. I mean, you play on the OSG, like is Dimensional Barrier like a popular like side deck card, or what do people side? Because like in Skystrikers right now, like they're gonna be playing Impermanence and Widow Anchor at 3 anyway. What more do they need? Should they play 9 cards? Should they play 12 cards? How many cards do they actually need to play to out that? Does it change when they go first? I mean, Dimensional Barrier seems really good in a vacuum. I don't know how much that helps if they're already set up, because it seems like they can just OTK you. But I don't know.
In Japan, it's really interesting because what they do, and I think it's a super good marketing strategy. First of all, let me tell you guys, I'm sure some of you guys who came in, to watch this, you guys love anime, you guys love like little anime girls, okay, whatever, no judgment, right? But the cool thing about your love for Japan, right, is that the Japanese card market is insanely good. It's actually it's very easy to enter and it's very easy to make money off of. Now, what I mean by that is every or most of the big cards, like the box cards, like the cards that everybody wants, are printed in multiple rarity. So Colossus, for example, has its own like ultimate prismatic mega awesome rarity, which is about like $100, and then per card, and then it has its like ultra rare or secret rare or just foil rare rarity, like prismatic rare, which is maybe $5. And both are playable. Both are totally playable. Both are totally fun to play. So there was never necessarily this price wall. Like anybody could theoretically be playing any deck at any given point because the buy-in is so easy in Japan. So when I was there, they really when Soul Fusion came out, because I happened to be there when it came out, they really tuned up. They really tuned up for this deck. They were really like Pinkertops came in, 3 impermanent. I mean, that isn't really good against the Thunder Dragon matchup, but impermanent, Widow Anchor, Desires to draw the uncertain, like because you can't search, right? So they have like all these cards already ready to go for Thunder Dragon, but here we don't. Not only do we not have that, but the set is released so close to the YCS date, and the cards are already super expensive. So and I guess like as a top player myself, I want to play the deck too, but I think maybe it'll come down to borrowing cards. But realistically, how many cards, like borrowing cards is more difficult in many cases than actually just buying the card. But buying the card is difficult in its own right because you spend money. So, my question is, you would I mean, I don't know, like what are your thoughts? Like, because it's tough. It's a tough call. You know what I mean? Like, it's a really tough call to. And I'm asking for a friend here, right? I'm not asking for my deck. I mean, should there be side spots really dedicated to this deck or other Soul Fusion decks?
I think it's gonna be tough to find someone that will pay $500 for Thunder Dragons, but doesn't want to spend that money on Sky Strikers. I think that's like the breaking point here. Like if someone has just $500, and if you only have $500, probably don't spend it on any Yu-Gi-Oh cards. But if you just said $500 for Yu-Gi-Oh budget, are you going to buy the new deck that you haven't tested and that you might be very good, or you can test it? Or are you going to buy the deck that everyone has tested and knows is the best deck already? Yeah, it might not be super innovative, but if you want those dollars to go as far as possible, which deck do you purchase? Now, maybe you say Thunder Dragons probably won't get hit as soon as like Sky Strikers, and obviously they got that crazy like dog card that just got announced. That card's insane.
I saw you post about that actually. Yeah,
that card's crazy. Like it's a double Gold Sark. It's a lore plus Gold Sark. That's insane. But like, which one do they purchase? And it's like for borrowing cards. To borrow cards, you have to know someone that has all these cards. Like they don't just come out of thin air.
Right.
I don't know, like, and I know there's always, every single time it's this discussion, people say, why doesn't someone create a program where people pay to borrow cards, like renting cards? And the reason that doesn't work, the reason it doesn't work is because to be completely honest, there's always someone that will just buy the card. Like no matter how expensive the card is, there's always someone that will buy the card. If it's not like $2,000 for me, but if it's less than $100 and it's a really good card, there's always someone that you can find that will buy it. So they don't need to rent the cards out. I mean, obviously there's like the issue of, okay, they're just going to steal it. How do you stop that from happening? How do you stop condition losses from happening? Like if you make it go from near mint to light played, what do you do there? But I think just in general, like everyone's just going to buy the cards if they want them. I don't know. It's tough for budget players. I haven't been a budget player in a while, but when I was a budget player, I definitely had to do this like cost analysis where it's like, is this deck worth all this money, or should I just go, is it worth it to get high rarity Volcanics for $200 when I could just get a Necros for like a similar price? Like, what do you spend your money towards? I don't know.
So, I kind of agree to that. You really need to make sure the dollar goes as far as possible, especially in Yu-Gi-Oh, as volatile a game as it is, where you're like, Konami has now said, ta-da, like we will give you a limitation list or a limit regulation whenever we feel like ta-da, like see ya, like it's like what the hell, like what the hell's going on? So in a really volatile market, you really have to. So there is an argument for sure there's a reason to buy these cards. In that they won't get hit like maybe Sky Striker will, but in the same way, yeah, you want to go to an event, you want to do well, you might as well shell out the same amount for Sky Striker, right? So now I want to kind of shift gears a little bit. Noah alerted me to this big what was it, a charity duel?
On House of Champs.
Yeah. So that was DZF, right? That was Dougie. That was my boy Dougie Z, right?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Just making sure we got the right guy, because I really, as much as I care and support suicide prevention, I really dropped the ball on that one. I really should have tuned in. But Noah was telling me, he analyzed it, as analytical man as he is, much like his father. So I think he has a couple questions for you on that front, and we always try, on this show, we try and make fun of people, right? Like that's what we do. Like, I'm base Loli, like I make fun of people, I'm rude and boisterous, but I really like to give people credit for the positive things they've contributed. It's just how it is, like you gotta take the bad with the good always. So Noah, take it away, my man.
I think the thing I was talking to you about before was regarding SEMO, actually, with when he donated $1,700. I think that's what we were talking about before, but that was pretty wild. So maybe Doug, you can kind of give your thoughts on what SEMO did, and like, would you ever consider doing something like that? Are you a man of the people?
Okay, so first time ever talking about this, unless I actually have an answer ready for this, ironically, but I don't think I mentioned this on like a stream. Maybe I did when I've had a couple drinks, but there was an issue, some drama a couple months ago with a YouTuber who I will not name. He said some pretty homophobic things, some pretty bigoted things.
Yikes.
And at that time, I mean, now I know, like, it's all about diplomacy. Like, it's my job. I can't just call people out. But at the time, I 100% was going to donate hundreds of dollars to an LGBTQ community, a charity like that, in his name, as like a way to say, you're like a horrible person and I can't believe you're promoting this kind of stuff. I didn't do that, but I think it's very likely in the future that I'll do a charity stream. I think what a lot of people don't realize about charity streams is that they're just a mess to coordinate, because anytime someone donates through Streamlabs or anytime someone donates through Super Chat, both those companies, YouTube or Streamlabs, they take a portion of it, and you can't just tell them, oh, I'm donating this, please don't take a portion of it. So actually the streamer either has to end up donating less than what the people, like they say, okay, everyone, if you donate $5, realize only $3 is going towards a charity, or they have to just eat the fees and then just pay that themselves. I think what SEMO did, where he just said anything that anyone else donates, I will match. I think that's an awesome idea as well. And I think, I think the suicide prevention thing is awesome. I think there's tons of great, John's done a couple of charity streams, and so far they've been fantastic. I think that positive influences like that in the community, positive streams like that in the community are really valuable for showing people that Yu-Gi-Oh players aren't all just greedy assles. Like they actually want to support good causes. Just like a few of them. There's like 10 or something.
Just like six. Let's say 6.
Yeah. But I think charity streams are really cool. I'd like to do one in the future. I don't know how long I would do. I think like those streams usually do work better as like a 24-hour stream, and doing it that long a stream isn't really where my life is at right now. I really can't do that. So we're like John, he can do those types of streams. He's done them plenty of times, and that's awesome. But I can't spend 24 hours just sitting at the computer. I just have too much going on right now, so I can't really do that. But if I can sometime, maybe like an 8-hour stream would be cool, like a real work day instead of what I normally do. Maybe that's like a good idea, an 8-hour charity stream. But someday I'll do.
We'll keep our eyes peeled for it. We definitely want to help it as far as that's concerned, for sure. Anything we can do. So I want to ask real quick. So I have Lithium 2300 on. Prolific, legendary YouTuber, one of my favorites in my opinion. Super starstruck, right? So I asked him a very sort of inappropriate question, maybe for his sort of like, because he's a very positive guy too. So I asked him.
Nose is running.
Yeah, I said, oh, who do you think is the worst YouTuber? Like, who just has the worst content, just straight out? And he looked at me, he goes. Yeah, he's like, oh no, don't worry, it wasn't you. you know, I wouldn't have. Don't worry. I would have defended you, dog. Trust me. We need you on the show. He went, oh, where's YugiTuber? So, you know, he sits there, right? He's like mulling for a second. And he goes, and he really hypes this up. He didn't just give me the answer right off the gate. He said, you know, I love when people do the card reviews, but this one YouTuber, he's doing his card reviews and sometimes he's getting a little lazy. You know, he's putting his camera up like on his car dashboard, doing the card reviews, and he's going to Burger King and ordering.
Okay,
So I'm sure you know. So for everybody, we have to get this guy on the show. We're getting Robbie Cole. I'm Cole 40 on the show. I'm just telling y'all who it is. So in that regard, what do you think the current direction of YugiTube and all that with people like Robbie Cole, who they're driving out to Burger King, you know, mid video to hit the 10-minute mark, and also you have people like Stephen Triffin, whatever his name is, if you know who that is, who is one of the first, second to G Hopper, who as a YouTuber who got banned, which is it's a very kind of it's a little alarming to compare the two, especially given that one's a criminal, one just got banned.
Yeah.
But so, what do you think the direction of YugiTube and all of that? What do you think? What do you think that sort of direction? What do you think the direction it's moving in? What do you think it is?
I think. How do I say this without calling out every single YouTuber? I think in every case of someone not giving it their all, it shows in the growth. It shows in the views, and it shows in the paychecks. And I'm trying to think, there's like, so I always talk about my students, people say, well, do this for a living? Like, yes, I do. There's only about, depending on the month, 10 YouTubers that do this full time. And maybe like if we extend it to wages that I wouldn't consider me doing this full time for, I extend it to like maybe like at most 15 in a given month, because some people's like expectations are lower, like they only want a certain amount, where I have a much higher expectation because I could just be doing something else. So I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and say 15 of the thousands of channels are doing this for like their actual full-time job. And I think in every single case, especially if we're talking about the 10 that are actually making an income, or like I would say, okay, yeah, I would do YouTubing for that. Maybe even less than 10. I think when I really count that out, it's like 7. All those people, when you go to their channels, you know that they're doing it for a living, because their channels aren't half-assed. Their videos aren't half-assed. Like they put out relatively topical content and stuff that has good points, and they give a shit. Like that's just what it comes down to. And I think that in every single case of someone, either they don't put enough time into editing, or they're getting facts wrong. I think that's like a huge one. I always make fun of Nim Nim. We always make fun of him in the group chat, because it seems like when he was doing discussion videos, every video he had like one ruling wrong or one history fact wrong.
No.
And the problem with that, if anyone's watching, you're trying to get into YouTubing, the problem is when you get one thing wrong, what happens is every video that they watch after that, if they watch any more videos, every single time you say anything, they're going, okay, but they got something wrong before. What is wrong in this video? And then when it happens multiple times in a row, you have to ask yourself, I mean, I don't know if you saw, there's a pretty big YouTuber who I may say is the worst one, because he hates the game and it shows in his content. He made
Let's hear it. Do we get to hear it?
Yeah, well, I mean, sure. Some people in chat might know about this, but basically he posted a video talking about the new cards out of Legendary Collection Kaiba, the new Blue Eyes cards, specifically talking about, what were those cards? King of D, Lord of D is the first one. So King of D and Dragon Revival Rhapsody and Goddess of Sweet Revenge and stuff. He talked about announcing those cards, and he talked about this in a video. He did a whole video. It was not satirical. He made a video talking about it. He made this video like 2 months ago, after the cards had been out for 8 months in the TCG, and that just shows someone that's so disconnected from the community, and just someone that doesn't pay attention to anything, that they hate the game. And they're just showing like, I literally could not care less about this. The reason that he did that video was because all he does every day is open up Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization and just make a video about whatever the top article was. And all the article said was new Blue Eyes cards announced. Now they were announced for the OCG. They were already in the TCG for almost a year at that point. I think that was like one of the funniest things. That was Asian Eyes White Dragon, who I think is everyone's.
Hell?
Yeah, and everyone and all the comments were just like, is this a joke? But it clearly wasn't. He deleted the video. He uploaded an apology video. He deleted that video. It's just a case of like, if you hate this game so much, just fucking quit. Like, don't talk about it. Like, and the videos that he's making aren't getting views anymore. So just quit to something else. He already did the mistake of he turned his old channel into a drama channel, thinking that like all his fans would start watching those videos. Those videos don't get views. His Yu-Gi-Oh videos get more views than that, but they don't get a lot of views. And it's just like, just your time. And it sucks because I was such a big fan of him. If you guys weren't watching him, like, I know he's like the joke of the community right now, but if you weren't watching him back in like that like Plant Farm, like 2011, stuff like that,
he was awesome.
He was awesome. He was one of the first people to do Dueling Network commentaries. He had Pink Reaper on there. They did all these like great duel commentaries, and it was just, he loved the game back then, and now he hates it. Like, you can watch his videos, and he just seems like, I don't know if any of you in chat have seen the the video. It's like, I don't even know. It's like it's free. It's like a free TV channel to like a college, and it somehow got leaked. And it's like this sad guy, and he makes chili cheese nachos, and they put like sad music behind it. And like when I watched that video, and it's like really, it's funny, but also it's very sad. That's how I feel when I watch like Asian Eyes videos. Like, it seems like he's like dying inside. Like, oh my gosh. If you don't like what you're doing, just don't, like, just do something else. And it's not like, it's not a case where he's making tons of money from doing this anymore, because he's not, like, it's not happening. Even at the maximum CPM, which he probably isn't getting, even at that, he's not making that much money. Just like do something else. Like, clearly you have a passion for like making videos, just not in Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. So I just, if I ever get to the point where like I hate this game, like I'm just not gonna talk about it. Like I love this game so much, and it's just, it bothers me when people that clearly don't like this game anymore still make videos about it. I think of channels that have quit when that happens, and people don't understand why. Channels like Galactic God, channels like Yu-Gi-Oh for Real Men, channels like Common Cat, people that really when they stopped liking Yu-Gi-Oh, they just quit, and people are like, no, just like keep making videos, and it's like, no, that's good. That's impressive. It shows maturity when you stop liking the game, stop posting content. I don't know. So I think the disingenuine YouTubers are like my least favorite.
Man, Yu-Gi-Oh for Real Men was awesome. Yeah, do you?
Yeah, and he's doing like video game stuff and stuff. Yeah.
10 minutes left in the round. All right, blame Konami. We only have 10 minutes left in the round, unfortunately.
Sure.
So before we have to end the current phase. So yeah, man. Yu-Gi-Oh for Real Men. Wow, that takes me back. That's a throwback. Noah, do you know who that is? No, Noah's gone.
No, Dad.
He's toast. He's just. Did he freeze?
I made
That's
their
crazy.
plant synchro.
Oh no, he didn't freeze. No, are you alive?
I actually
sorry,
know who they are. I made their plant synchro deck from a long time ago, and I used to play it. The one that made Quasar.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh for Real Men. Man. He's awesome. Do you know who that is, Noah? Because Noah's pretty new. Jeez, you gotta look him up.
He's old school.
He is old school. He is old school. So before I get into my last question, Noah, since we have 10 minutes and I've kind of dominated DZ because big fan. Do you have? I'm so sorry for that. Do you have anything you want to add? Noah, you want to?
Yeah. I was just curious. I mean, obviously, a bunch of people came into the stream, came from watching you play Duel Links. So
kind of. I had to open. I was mostly doing a Yu-Gi-Oh press.
Oh, okay. Well, regardless, you're a Duel Links man now. I know people chirp you for changing over to playing more Duel Links than playing actual Yu-Gi-Oh. But how do you think that that's affected you? And I kind of asked Simo a similar question. How do you think dedicating more time towards playing Duel Links versus playing like competitive with actual cards, has that impacted your ability to like test for big events or to like come up with new ideas for the real game, since you're kind of spending time coming up with ideas for Duel Links?
Interesting. So yeah, there is some misinformation around. It is true that I do play, maybe not so much anymore, but I was for like 3 months playing a lot of Duel Links. It was kind of during the time when there was no Yu-Gi-Oh events going on. It was between the ARG Invitational and this last YCS, the 200th YCS, and there weren't any regionals near me. I went to one regional. I actually hate Duel Links. Well, I don't hate Duel Links, but I just kind of play it as a meme. I've only played the same deck for like 4 months now because I don't want to spend any more money on it. I mean, it's a money pit, but I'm not really trying to innovate Duel Links. To be completely honest, the reason that I stream, pretty much all I stream is Duel Links now, and the reason being is that there are no good Yu-Gi-Oh simulators. None of them are fun to watch. Like they all have shitty aspects of them. Dueling Book is by far the best one, but it's so fucking slow. Like if you like live stream for an hour, you'll get like 2 games in. Duel Links, you can crank out like 15 games. None of these games have good ranked platform. I mean, like Dueling Book has an okay ranked platform, but once again, it's not spectator friendly. Where Duel Links was designed to be spectator friendly. I would say that in general, like the only thing that really affected me from playing so much Duel Links when there really wasn't any events going on anymore to playing TCG is that like I just kind of forgot about main phase 2 existing. That's like the biggest difference. Like none of the other stuff matters. I mean, like it does matter, but the biggest difference between Duel Links and TCG is that there's no main phase 2. Like you don't think that matters that much when you like play the TCG,
huge,
but like really like try to keep track of like how often. Like I play like spellbooks and Duel Links, and like power is like so much worse because you can't power run over something, add fate, set fate. You have to like set the fate preemptively, and just creates a lot of awkward situations. I don't know. Duel Links. I mean, I made like an almost hour-long video kind of bashing it. Because I felt like the problem with YouTubers and the TCG, they would like bash the game without playing it to like its fullest potential. So I played it, I got to the highest rank 3 months in a row, and then I shit all over it because I don't like it. But it's I don't know. I play more. The biggest issue is that there's no good online TCG platforms, so I have to play like something for the viewers, and the Duel Links streams do really well. I mean, they do probably twice as many viewers, and I realized I already had a lot of Duel Links players that were following my channel, and they got value out of those discussions. So I think what it led me to do is create videos that were specifically tailored not only to TCG players, but also to Duel Links players, not just sort of accidentally hitting Duel Links topics, but directly hitting Duel Links topics. That's probably the biggest difference. But as far as me as a player, I don't think it's affected me negatively or positively in any way. The Duel Links format is like way worse than the TCG format, just like straight up. It's horrible.
It's awful.
So, that's about it.
Have you ever tried playing Duel Links, Noah?
I played it like right when it first came out, and then for some reason I have no problem dropping $300 on a playset of Engage, but paying $5 for a pack is just too much. I just can't do that.
I'm thinking about taking the last 5 minutes to answer viewer questions that I have compiled. Would you like to take a few, Doug?
Let's do it.
Sure.
All right, Dougie, we're gonna viewer questions real quick.
How do you feel about people using proxy cards or cards to practice with when they don't own any of them?
Oh my god. Yeah, how do you feel about that, Doug?
Sorry about that. I don't think proxy cards should be allowed. It's not fair that people that are paying the money can play people that don't pay the money. It's like should proxy money be allowed to play or to like pay for things? Like I know like that's like makes
Monopoly
really,
money.
like,
Here it is.
By allowing like proxy cards at like local tournaments, you're basically just saying to the people that are spending money, like, oh, you guys are like fucking stupid for like spending money on these cards when you could just print them for free. I understand like I think like the joy of being a budget player when I was a budget player was like finding cheap ways to like sort of play decks. You find some really crazy cards at like tech options and stuff. Whereas like, I don't know, I just feel like it's unfair. It's not something like Magic where like you have like $9,000 cards. Like that's totally fine.
Yeah. These cards, the print for those cards is also so old too. So like, it's also just hard to get them, even if you do have the money.
Right. Like nowadays, like it's pretty big because like it's my job and main hobby. I would say like when I was in college, like maybe not so much when it was just like my main hobby, and even like YouTube was my main hobby. But because like my job, I like all day I'm constantly thinking about like new video ideas, so it's like different from like a pro player who's trying to think of like new ways to beat the metagame. I'm just trying to think of new ways to like get money in my pocket and do this as a job as long as possible, because I have to realize that it's not forever, but I'm just enjoying it while it's lasting, and it's been a blast. So I say Yu-Gi-Oh is a pretty big part, probably more so than any portion of my life. It is like the biggest of my identity right now. That makes sense.
Alex,
Yeah.
Shall I
yeah.
read one more question, or
Yeah, hit him with it. Hit him with it.
All right, if you could snap your fingers and give your favorite casual archetype new support to make it tier 1, what archetype would it be, and what would it need / what you'd like to see for it to be tier 1?
Damn, who asked? Hold
Alright,
on.
hear
Who
me
asked
out.
that? Who asked that? That was a
I've
good
been,
ass question.
I've been theory crafting
Done
every time a new danger card gets announced. So dangers right now, they need like an end goal. They need a Dante. So I
Yeah.
came up with this danger link monster that I want to see happen. I just want that deck to be
Hell
broken.
yeah.
So the danger link monster, link 2, it takes any danger monster and then any monster. So kind of like the Mech Knight link, where it takes just like a Mech Knight any random monster, and then its effect is once per turn, and maybe even on summon too, you get to add a danger card from your deck to your hand and then discard a card from your hand. And then also, I just came up with this at the sneak peek when I was thinking about like, what do I want dangers? So already that effect is like ridiculous, but it's like a 3+2, but that's okay. Like you can put insane cards in okay roguish decks and they're not going to break them. And then also I came up with that its continuous effect is whenever you reveal a danger card, you get to pick which card you discard. Because like the problem is if the link monster only has that continuous effect, it's not impactful enough. Like it doesn't impact the board. So you need to also give it its search effect. I think that's what dangers need to be the best deck.
I hope so. Man, those dangers are awesome. The little, they're also just like, I don't even like the big ones. I like the smaller
Yeah,
ones.
the
like
little
Jackalope
ones are where
and,
it's at. Snake.
Tsuchinoko. Yeah. So I hope something. There's a lot of times where I'll end with like a fucking not jackalope. Oh yeah. So I'll summon the jackalope out of my hand and discard the other level 3, and then I'll have like 2 level 3s, and I'm like, okay, maybe I guess I'll make Dante win. That doesn't do anything. Like, oh, okay. Well, I wonder. Yeah,
Right. I could have just played Burning Abyss at that point, right?
Exactly. So they definitely need something for sure. They definitely need something. Yeah. Wow. That was a good ass question. Who the hell? I would have thought you'd ask something for Brilliant Fusion, or you'd add something involving that. Now we all know that's your favorite. So I mean,
I mean like Gem Knights are already like, and they're not like good, but like they have like a deck. They have tops, so it's like
they have tops. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. That's so funny. No, that's because you really love Brilliant Fusion. In my head, I was like, what's like the one condition why would DZ ever turn into Slayer ever? Well, if
Freeze play in the round.
Yeah,
I repeat, freeze play in the round.
All right, well, I guess that's time. Noah, do you have any that's Jarrell and police officers here saying freeze play. Don't blame us, blame Konami. You already know. So I guess Noah, do you have any closing statements? All right, Noah's gone again. Damn. See ya. Oh no. Oh, welcome back. Welcome back. Do you have any closing concerns, closing statements?
No, I think we covered everything here. It's great to have you on.
Doug, anything
Thanks.
anything you want to say? Any closing?
I mean, I think this is like a really cool idea. You guys should man, the picture thing is funny. You should hone in on that. You should do what is it? It's Smosh does you posted that. You should check those out. They like dig up like old tweets from people and make them look at it. I think that'd be like fucking hilarious.
Hell yeah.
If you like went over like old tweets, or maybe even like old video clips if you're only interviewing like YouTubers and stuff. I think like I've said some pretty terrible stuff and like just really dumb stuff in videos.
Yeah.
Way worse than my abilities are worse than that guy. So I'd check out that the Smosh videos on who posted that. I think that'd be a just more into like the digging up old crap that people have posted. Obviously I'm saying this now that I won't be on the show, so I don't have to suffer through that kind of stuff. I think
That's
it's
what I call
really
tact.
funny. Yeah.
That's fucking tact.
I think it'd be pretty funny to do that.
Primarily because like I am super. So I'll tell you on our first episode, or I really tried to get this in, but the chat was really just like, you cannot ask this shit. I was like, I wanted to be like, yo, how big is your cock? Like, just tell us the big, tell us the skinny. Like, yo, tell us about your sex life. Like, yo, tell us about the anime you masturbate to. Like, I just wanted to go in, right? But like the chat was like, no, like you cannot do this. You cannot ask this shit. So you know what? I like that idea actually. Maybe we'll have to.
Maybe not with people that you're like first talking to, but I think that any of those questions would have been fine with people that you already have like a rapport with.
Oh,
or maybe
I
if
love
you
making
like
people uncomfortable. Like,
or
you
up
already know.
throughout the episode.
I love it. Have you seen this beard? Have you seen this cut? Like, have you seen this nose? You already know. I'm ready to make people uncomfortable. I'm ready to make people go, damn, this dude really does play Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, this dude's really Just like the stereotypes. Doug was right. Anyway, Doug, again, thank you for the support. You advertised it today. I really appreciate it. Thank you for coming
Yeah,
on.
looks like you
with
got a
us,
whole bunch of followers. So awesome.
I hope so, man. Really, I'm sure it's thanks to you, man. Like, I really appreciate you coming out here, putting us on like that, and also, answering questions and being on with us. It's awesome. If you had talked to me maybe a month ago, I would have been like, yeah, there's no way I could do this. Like, nobody's gonna want to come on my show. Like, what the hell? And then people are really gonna like get on Sunday and be like, they're gonna be Googling based Loli, be like looking for me, right? Like, really? Like,
yeah,
like,
FBI is gonna show up to people's houses because of this little podcast.
Jesus, man. Well, fellas, to all our new followers, I'm so sorry. To all the people who I was not able to, or AJ was not able to get their questions. Two things: A, make better questions. B, that's the most important thing. But B, you can always there is a way to get around it. You can we're sellouts, so you can donate, which is down in our description, and then your question will for sure get on the show. No matter how long it is, no matter how stupid it is, no matter how boring it is, it'll definitely get on. So. Yeah, Doug, again, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate all the advice, and we really appreciate the support. And most importantly, like I said, thank you for coming on with us. Thank you for being a guest.
Yeah, of course.
And we definitely hope to have you on soon. Again.
Sure.
And with that, guys, I believe the stream will be coming to an end.
All right. Well, Doug, thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yep, thank you.
All right, guys.
All right. As cringe do, I hope I'm not on Reddit's cringe compilation because that was really awkward on my end. But primarily because I'm out here like cob is all over the clock nose. Anyway, to all of the people who came out and watched us, primarily the people who came out to watch Doug, thank you so much. Right now we're like literally a jigsaw puzzle, so you probably can't see our faces. The only thing you can see is low-key teleport Medolice. I don't know why that's still up here. But definitely tune in the future. We're going to have more Yu-Gi-Oh! Personalities on, but also, if you're into competitive Yu-Gi-Oh!, we're going to have some more players on. I know Noah's super excited about this. We're definitely going to have people like Josh Schmidt. We're going to have Josh on. We're going to have Bowden Temnick, got second at Worlds recently. And even if you're a casual player, you probably saw him, Lullaby of Obedience, Inspector Border, when two were already banished. So he did not get that Inspector Border, and he lost promptly. So we'll definitely get him on. I'm trying to get Jeff. I'm trying to get Billy and Jackie. You already know. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. If my co-hosts have any closing thoughts, any closing words, please now. Speak now.
Coming up next week, Alex is going to be at Niagara, so you might get a little bonus show from me on Sunday, but we'll see there. Stay tuned. Follow our Facebook page. It's all in the description down below.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. No, our Facebook page down? Our Facebook page is not down. Oh shit. All right. We'll just post it in our we're ragtagging it. We're pulling what I like to call a MCOL40. Our Facebook page is fb.me/baselollytv. I will be present at Niagara, but what that means is there will be a special show from AJ and Noah. We're trying to introduce a new segment of our show called Friday Night Fights, which is basically a segment where Noah, you pick the archetype, come onto our Facebook page, you pull for the archetype, and Noah will play it against any player that you want. The player with the most votes, we'll get him on the show, and we'll pit him against each other, and we'll see who wins. We'll see what happens, and we'll do some commentary over it. Mainly, if I'm not there, Noah and AJ can do it. But yeah, so I look forward to seeing a lot of you guys in Niagara. And don't leave stream and talk about the guest STDs this time, bro. Yeah, yeah. All right, don't worry about that. Whatever. All right, cut the shit off. All right, they're on to me. Jesus, I can't believe they remembered that. Unbelievable. All right. We're good. AJ, any closing thoughts? All right, good to know.
Sounds good. Yep. All right.